podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
You know the saying, stay hungry, stay humble.
BoxingVoice.com.
I'm humble in defeat, and I'm going to remain humble in victory. This is it, right?
Dolla Dibiase Productions.
I just wanted to put on a great boxing masterclass
BoxingVoice.com.
and also show the sweet science of this lovely sport. Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
I'm prepared to the best of my capability, and I pray that I get the win. Look at it, like, I love Mike Tyson, how he came into the game on some different kind of vibe. You know what I mean? But it takes a crazy man to want to fight, you know what I mean, day in, day out. It's a hardcore sport, as you said, no silk shoes.
And the first time was so nice.
No other sight in the game could see the boxing voice.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another jam-packed edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. We are the Breakfast Club of Boxing. We are the voice of the people. There is no equal, and I am fired up to talk about this unification match in the heavyweight division taking place September 25th. I won't even begin to try to pronounce the name of the stadium, but hey, London should be happy, or at least the UK. Anthony Joshua is back, and he's given us a little twist to talk about, right? He's gone out a little bit on a limb, and he's saying that he believes Oleksandr Usyk is just as good as Tyson Fury. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. If you want to talk about it as well, you want to voice your opinion on the Voice of the People hotline, do not forget that you can call in. The number to do so is 1-425-569-5241. We're going to have some guest panelists. We're going to have some live guests. If you want to drop one of our guests a question and have it read out by your first name and last name, go ahead and do so by joining our Patreon page at patreon.com/The Boxing Voice. We have post out for the very tough, she fought with a hematoma. I mean, her eye closed shut, and she fought all the way to the end. We have none other than Ebane Bridges will be coming on the show this week. We have Antoine Gary Russell will be coming on the show this week. We have Tim Tszyu should be on the show this week. We had Bill Haney yesterday. There's plenty of fighters, promoters, insiders that will be on the show. So if you want to ask them a question, head on over to patreon.com/The Boxing Voice to do so. We're also, like I said, going to have some guest panelists today. Looks like we're joined alongside the always knowledgeable historian himself, Joe Habib from Ringside Reporter. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. I'm doing great.
All right. And it looks like we have Mr. Lionez also joining us in New Jersey. What's going on, Dumitron?
Dumitron is... I'm here in the morning on the phone with Spirit Airlines. What can I tell you?
Oh,
brother?
You're still with Spirit? Uh-oh.
Yeah. They just actually spoke right now, so I'm just gonna finish this.
No problem.
Once and for all.
Do you? So, Beeb, Anthony Joshua, Oleksandr Usyk. It's happening September 25th. We've known about this for some time now. It's finally official. I guess the holdup has been that they wanted to allow, paying fans that have been desperate for competition and boxing and sport and to be amongst that. But AJ gave us that twist, man. He gave us that debatable topic. Is Usyk just as good as Tyson Fury?
If you're asking me, I'm gonna say hell no. Usyk's a good fighter, but I just think this is a bad style matchup for him. The guys, like I said yesterday on D-Style show, that give AJ problems are the guys that get inside, they crowd him, they smother him. guys who are willing to stay in the pocket and really try to outwork him on the inside and don't allow him to have that space to turn those shots over like he likes to do. He's more of a mid-range guy, more of a distance to mid-range guy. I think he loves to crank the left hook in the mid-range and the uppercut in the mid-range, but if you smother him and you don't allow him to get those shots off and don't give him the space to get those shots off, then he's going to have problems. Because when you look at, Ruiz smothered him. Takam smothered him. It was a sloppy, ugly fight. Even Parker got up close and smothered him and made the fight kind of complicated for him, but the ref kept breaking him early. So, with the right ref, not making excuses, who knows how that fight would have played out. But this is a style, Usyk, in and out, ambush guy, throws flurries. I don't think this style is going to really give AJ problems. I think AJ is going to be patient, and I think one shot could turn this fight, and I think one shot will turn this fight, and I think Usyk's going to get stopped in about 7 rounds, in my opinion. A lot of people think Usyk is live. I'm not one of those people. I just don't think this is a good style matchup for Usyk.
Yeah, a lot of people are suggesting that AJ is going to walk right through him. Once the name of that trainer comes to mind, I'll just add his name to that quote. But a lot of people believe AJ is going to walk right through Usyk. They don't think, like myself, I don't think he's he's filled in. I don't think he's big enough for heavyweight or punches hard enough for heavyweight. But it is going to be AJ's 3rd Olympic medalist, man. I mean, there's a certain faction of boxing fans that like to diminish AJ's record, and it's arguable that he has the best heavyweight record of all the heavyweights of his era.
Don't ask me that question.
Really? So you don't agree? You're still on with Spirit trying to partake here. Do you agree, or are we going to listen to the automated service here? What's up, buddy? So what about you?
Listen,
what about you?
What I can say is this, man. Look, I don't know about getting destroyed. I think he goes the whole 12 rounds. This guy is hard to hit. He's not easy to hit. He's a fast boxer. He's fast. He's too fast on his feet for these bigger guys. But he's managed to be able to have this type of defense that's kept him safe enough throughout his cruiserweight era. Now he's in the heavyweight division. Can somebody break through that guard? I mean, does the plan change for him? I think he's smart enough, man, not to get knocked out by any of these guys.
So you're really gonna say that Usyk goes 12 with AJ? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing that funny about it. I believe Takam almost made it 12. Joseph Parker pretty much made it 12, right? He didn't get stopped either. And I see Usyk having better elusiveness than those, or at least being better at trying not to get stopped than those guys. But Eddie Hearn obviously is saying that there will be 60,000 people in New Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the September 25th fight. That's a lot of people. AJ continues to show that he's a huge draw in his home country, man. I mean, we haven't seen numbers like this since Vladimir. Vlad was going to do 60 in Germany. Got to respect that, and you got to respect the names that he keeps fighting. I mean, again, his 3rd gold medalist. That's I don't know any other heavyweight that's fought 3 gold medalists. No?
What people don't realize too is everyone wants to criticize the resumes of not only Joshua but Wilder and Fury, but we gotta really understand one thing: this isn't the same heavyweight division of the Ali era. This isn't the heavyweight division of the 90s when you had Holyfield, you had Bo, you had Tyson, you had Lewis, you had Michael Moore. And the list goes on and on, right? This isn't the same division. So when you look at this big 3, you have Joshua, Fury, and Wilder. Who else do you have? Maybe you can throw Dillian White in there. Maybe Joe Joyce, possibly. Daniel Dubois, he has the potential. But this division really isn't, the same division as it was back in the golden years. Those 2 golden era of heavyweights. You can make an argument that, in my opinion, I think the 90s was the best era. I think it was even better than Ali's era because you had bigger guys, and you had guys who were not only big, but they could box well too. So I just think
How
that,
big
that,
was
that
Larry
the 90s had a
Holmes?
lot of depth. The 90s had a lot of depth. And even throw the Klitschko's in there, right? They were 90s heavyweights as well.
How big was Larry Holmes?
6'3", about 220-ish, 250, like 218-ish.
Oh man, he had a
So when
good
you-
jab. He had a good jab, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know that era, man. Those '90s heavyweights were pretty small, man. A lot of those
The
guys.
the 90s heavyweights or the 70s and 80s heavyweights. The 90s heavyweights, you
the
had
90s,
Riddick Bowe,
and you had Evander, you had Tyson, 2, 3 short guys, right? Well, Bowe,
but you had
how tall
Lennox
was Bowe?
Lewis, you had Riddick Bowe, right? You had guys like Michael Grant. You had both Klitschko brothers, right? That was the era where the guys started getting bigger. You had Michael Grant, wasn't the greatest, but he was a big guy. You had a little bit of a mix. You don't have the size you have now, but you still have guys like Dillian White who is 6'3", 6'4"-ish, Chisora, But I think
but Dillian
you
White
definitely
is
see a progression and an evolution of these heavyweights. They were becoming bigger. Back in Ali's day, everyone was 6'3", right? The tallest guy was 6'3", 6'4". Now, you had 6'7", 6'6", right? 6'5" was the norm. So there was a lot of big heavyweights in the 90s. A lot of decent-sized heavyweights in the 90s. And I think when you look at a guy like
all those
Lewis,
guys match up in terms of height. All those guys match up with our era. You got Wilder, he's 6'7", Fury's 6'9". You got Tony Yoka, he's another like 6'9". You got AJ.
Yeah.
AJ, I stood next to him. He's definitely 6'6", 6'7". Fucking Joyce is huge. Dubois is huge. And Dillian, you're not giving credit to. I think maybe he's 6'3", cool, and I'm going to check that.
No, he's 6'4". He's 6'4", but he's thick.
Exactly.
He's thick. I'll give you that.
That's what I was going to
He's thick.
say. He's a big boy, though. So that weight on you, Joseph Parker, I stood next to him. He's not too tall. He's probably like a 6'2", and so is Povetkin. They're short. Povetkin is not that tall, but Joseph Fa, Junior Fa, he's tall. I mean, we got a lot of big heavyweights, man. I don't know. I feel like a few years back, it could be the hormones in the food. Who the fuck knows, man? But they just weren't as big as they are right now. Look at Dominic Brazil. He's tall as hell. David Price is tall as hell. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Now, obviously, we're only comparing height, not skill, because, people will start saying, like, how are you going to talk about Bowe and Price in the same sentence? And we're not. But, and Zhang, that's right, man. Jalal Jay is huge, even though, Jerry Forrest made everyone think twice. But listen, he's working, guys. If you're not following him on Instagram, you're doing yourself a disservice. He is really working. He was on the track this morning. He's been on the track. I don't think he's going to allow himself to look as winded as he did in that Jerry Forrest fight ever again. Sometimes, you need those moments in life where you suffer that adversity as a life lesson that allows you to, put in the necessary work so those things don't happen again. So I'm excited to see him back. I think he has something scheduled and it got canceled, man. But so, man, you're definitely not picking Usyk to win. I wonder what everybody else is gonna
do the poll, brother. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, you're right. Do the poll. I keep forgetting about these polls, man.
The polls is like the greatest feature, man.
I know. I didn't know. I've seen D-Style do it. That's how I found out. It's like
that's how I found out too, man. D-Style be messing around with all these little idiosyncrasies of the YouTube features.
Man. So who you got? Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. We're going to do a poll right now, and you can go ahead and give us your vote on not on the community page, but right here in our live chat. So we're asking our community to go ahead and vote. If you're on youtube.com/The Boxing Voice, feel free, make a vote. You could also call in 1-425-569-5241 to go ahead and voice your opinion on this subject. Obviously, we're talking Anthony Joshua feeling that Tyson Fury is just as good as Oleksandr Usyk. I just don't know. I guess it could be argued in accomplishments. You know, he's undisputed, and Fury, he's never been undisputed. But I think Fury holds bigger wins where he was expected to lose, or the betting line was even. You know, he went in there with Vlad and he went to Germany. He went in there with Wilder and he came to America. These are huge notches in his belt, man. I mean, those things can't be taken away. I don't know that Usyk has that by beating, Gassiev and what was it, Tobias Minshew and Michael Hunter. I don't know that those names live up to the wins of a Tyson Fury, who has, a common opponent with Usyk in Derek Chisora, but Derek Chisora just now beating Fury. Just now beating Usyk, just now beating Chisora, where Fury gave Chisora his first loss. Then he did it again for good measure. So, I don't know. We got a first super chat of the day, £2 from Coyote in the UK that says, the poll you should do is who more skilled, Fury or Usyk? All right, so that's what you want to know. And you only want to know that because he's a hot AJ fan. So if AJ says Usyk is as good as Fury, he's definitely going to do that. He's gonna be behind that. But it says, so far, we got 87 votes. Joshua, 84%. Usyk, 16% in terms of who the community is picking to win. So I think that Coyote is right. The proper poll to do is who is the better skilled fighter? Not skilled, but I think we should ask AJ's question. Is Fury just as good as Usyk, or is Usyk just as good as Fury? That probably should be the question.
This is the thing. When we had this discussion, I think a couple of shows ago, people, when they look at boxers, they hear the term, who's the better boxer? And everyone, when they hear that word boxer, they're looking at the guy who moves a lot, the guy who fights on the outside, the guy who has that aesthetically finesse-pleasing style, right? But a guy that can get in there and grind it out on the inside, just like Julio Cesar Chavez did back in the day. When you look at guys who just sit in the pocket and will grind it out, that's considered good boxing skills too. So people are going to automatically, or I'm not going to say most people, but a lot of people are going to automatically say, well, Usyk is the better boxer. Why? Because he moves more. Why? Because he fights on the outside more. Why? Because he has that more finesse, aesthetically pleasing style, because he's not willing to get in there and grind it out. I'm not saying he can't do that, but he hasn't shown us to do that in most of his fights, right? He usually out finesses guys. And don't forget, I had Tony Bellew up in that fight before being stopped when I was watching that fight with Tony Bellew. So, Tony Bellew took it to him and was aggressive. So I think offensively, AJ is a better boxer than Usyk. I think Fury is all around a better boxer than Usyk. And my explanation for saying that is because I look at versatility. We've seen AJ outbox guys from the outside, a la Andrew Ruiz, and we've seen him take it to guys and get in the mid-range and grind it out, a la Vladimir Klitschko, right? We've seen him take it to guys, and we've seen him out-finesse guys. Usyk's more of a guy who catches you with a sneaky counter, gets you out of there, or he out-finesses you on the outside. We've never seen him take it to somebody, walk him down, and grind him out of there. We've seen Joshua win both ways. We've seen Fury win both ways. We don't know if Usyk can win both ways. And he may need to have that, that aggressiveness, that he may need to have that ace card in the back pocket for this fight, because what if the outside counter-punching style doesn't work? We've seen Fury in the Cunningham fight lose the boxing match, but when the match turned into a fight, he took over because he out-muscled him and out-grinded him. Same thing in the Wilder fight. I don't know, and nothing has been shown to me that thus far if Usyk can do that. So that's the big question mark here.
Yeah, for me, he just hasn't proven to me that he's good enough heavyweight to compete with the elite. Like watching Chisora land those shots, man, I feel like even Canelo can move up and land an overhand right on this guy. He's allowing slow Chisora, who's not even in his age bracket, doesn't have the same set of wheels that Usyk has. We thought Usyk was a mover, and again, he was allowing Chisora opportunities. We'll see, man. I definitely want to give this first poll some time before ending it, but I am excited to do the next poll and ask the AJ question. So I'm actually going to end it and do that. Is Usyk, as good as Tyson Fury? Does AJ have a point here? Because I don't see that, before any Wilder fight with Fury ever took place, I always said that would be the toughest fight for Wilder. I think it's the toughest fight for AJ. His movement will always be a problem. His reach, his height, he's always going to punch down on people. He's always going to be taller than you. He'll probably be longer than you. He's always going to move better than you. It's hard. And now, it's questionable. Is he a puncher? He's leaning towards yes. It's like a 69% knockout ratio, and he just knocked out Wilder. It's like, that's a dangerous heavyweight. I can't compare him in any way to Usyk. I don't really understand what AJ is saying. I mean, the dangers of a Fury are not the dangers of an Usyk. The power, at least Fury has shown power. He stopped Christian Hammer when no one else has done that. Now he stopped Wilder when no one else has done that. Usyk, he's at heavyweight with 2 fights with 2 people that he didn't look good in.
And this, Ness, it's amazing to me how we're just supposed to disregard Usyk's first couple fights at heavyweight and say, oh, well, he's going to fight differently against AJ. How do you make a statement like that? Because AJ is better than levels and light years above the guys that he fought thus far at heavyweight.
Chaz Weatherspoon and Derek Chisora.
You're not supposed to struggle with Derek Chisora. I scored that fight 7 rounds to 5 for Usyk. You're not supposed to nick a decision. You can make an argument that fight was even a draw. And I think Chisora was a solid fighter, but he's not AJ. He's no way near AJ, right? Mm-hmm. And Chisora has taken some tough beatings in there. And, when you look at the Fury second fight and you look at the Vitaly Klitschko fight, guy's got a lot of miles on him, right? So you would think at that stage, Usyk would really be able to outwork him and outbox him because Chisora's not the fastest guy in the world on his feet, right? And for that guy to be able to track you down and cut the ring off against you, that was startling to me.
Hands too.
Yeah, I mean, he's awkward, I get it, but even still, it was startling to me how close that fight was. And I think that has to be an eye-opener. And I know you can't use the triangle theory, like everyone wants to say styles make fights, but I guess Chisora is I would say Chisora is probably a better inside fighter than AJ. Maybe he commits to the body more. Maybe he commits to the body more than AJ. But I think AJ's strengths definitely trump, those 2 things from Chisora. I think all around, AJ's a much better fighter than Chisora, with all due respect. So if you're going to struggle with Chisora, I don't see how you're not going to struggle with AJ. I just can't fathom that.
Well, I mean, the issue is Chisora he's going to take more risks than AJ, and that could be the issue. Can AJ catch up to Usyk if he's not selling out? Because Chisora was definitely throwing bombs from far away. He wasn't cutting distance traditionally by any means.
Yeah.
But let me go ahead and open up these phone lines and get some people's thoughts on this. You guys know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Maestro, I see you out there. If you want in, you already know. You just call up, man. Call up and join us. So we're going out to the phone lines.
Subscribe to youtube.com/RebutsandVoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We went live 3 times yesterday. You don't want to be left behind. Every time we go live, if you click that notification bell, you will be notified every time the channel schedules or uploads. Right now, we're on 127,534. I need your help to get to the next goal, 127,600, 100 at a time, and we gonna shine. It's up to you to help us do that. Let's go ahead on out to these callers. I got Coach Myers in Connecticut. Coach, what do you know about Fly Mike Marshall, the heavyweight? He's from Connecticut. Damn, don't tell me you're busy. I wanted the rundown on this man. He's busy.
Hey, yo.
Oh, he's there. What's up? What's up? Have you heard of this guy, Fly Mike Marshall?
Nah. He's from Connecticut?
Yeah, heavyweight. I think he's like 4-1-1.
Who's he with?
I don't know. He's he's not a famous guy. You know what I'm saying? He's like a club level. He's 4-1-1.
I'll look him up. I'll see what's. I don't know. I'll look him up, see what's up. But no, I haven't heard of him. But I got Usyk over AJ. I've been waiting for this fight. You know, y'all be hating on Usyk too much, man. Like, you got to give him credit instead of talking down on him. Hold up. You got to give him credit now. Not too many people go undisputed at one weight, move up, and then try to romp with the big dogs. People don't do that, a la Crawford. So it's like, you got to give him credit. The boy got undisputed. Hold up. He was undisputed. He moved up. Now he's fighting the top dogs at heavyweight. That's my point. So you got to give him credit. You can't hit all these little, all right, cool. But at least he's stepping up and doing what
this ain't a top
stepping
dog.
Up,
this is a payday.
And he's doing what
looking at it as a payday.
AJ's the top dog. But all right, that's my first call.
Well, he moved up to heavyweight. Why do cruiserweights move up to heavyweight, Ness? Why?
More money in the heavyweight division, more glamour.
And what is the biggest money fight in heavyweight division right now?
Anthony Joshua.
All right, then. So let's not be like, oh,
naive.
They're in the. I mean, again, we'll commend him for fighting him, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's not without a hefty reward.
Like Beeb, I won't congratulate you for getting the Joshua fight. Doesn't mean I think you're gonna win. You know, congratulations on that payday. You know what I'm saying?
When the WBO has a rule where if you're a super champion at a lower weight class, and automatically, now with all due respect, did he earn this shot?
No,
but he got it.
In a sense, it could be argued that doing what he's done grants him this.
Yeah, but I'm not in that camp. I mean, that's an argument that could be made, but doing what you did at cruiserweight, I think, has no bearing on what you're gonna do at heavyweight. I don't see a correlation.
Yeah.
But they allowed.
Is that the Bazooka?
He's on. Is he on?
Yo, my goodness! You two are talking about heavyweights, and you got your main man.
Bazooka, can you turn that phone sideways so we can get the? I want the world to see the whole view of you, man, because they don't know that you are the first Mexican Puerto Rican heavyweight, man. And I'm just so excited I was able to call your fight and get to meet you and have you on the show, man, because I'm honestly shocked that the world doesn't know who you are, man. You are a diamond in a cave somewhere that we have discovered, man. But I know we've gone through some of these questions that I'm going to ask you already, but I need you to do that to introduce yourself to the audience, man. Just tell everybody, I guess, your name and your background.
Yeah, my name is Amisael El Bazuka Jimenez. Yeah, I got a simple story. Just, you know, a kid trying to make it out of the streets, you know, doing bad stuff, and boxing, I guess, was the answer for me to change my lifestyle and move forward and, you know, make something of myself and make something my family and my culture could be proud of.
And how long have you been boxing? When did you first put on the gloves?
I've been boxing for about 12 years now, since I was 10.
So who introduced you to the sport? What's the reason you picked up those gloves?
I was maybe 10 years old. I remember in school, I used to get in a lot of fights because a lot of kids would bully me because I was a big kid. And my dad one day, he was like, well, you want to fight? Well, let's take you to the ring and see. And I think he expected me to get beat up the first day I took me to the gym. But I dropped both the kids, and he's like, well, I guess you got a talent for it, so we're going to keep bringing you to the gym. And it's been a wrap since, just nonstop.
Let's go, champ. You feel me?
So at 10 years old, how much did you weigh? Because you said you were being teased. Were they teasing you because you were heavy set?
Yeah, sir. I was like 165 pounds at 10 years old.
Dude, you wouldn't believe me. I was. You seen how big I am? At 17,
Yeah.
I used to be 160, dog. So I can't even imagine you being 160 at 10. Lord.
Yeah.
So you picked up the sport, and your dad is your trainer, right?
Yes, sir.
What's his name?
Celio Jimenez.
Celio Jimenez. And
Yes,
he was
sir.
born in?
He was born in Arecibo, Puerto Rico, in Sabana Hoyo.
Okay, so your dad is the Puerto Rican side. And your mother is from?
He's from Michoacán, Mexico, from Nueva Italia.
Oh, wow, Michoacán. Yeah, man, nice. Yo, this is so crazy. Ever since I've met you, let me tell you, I haven't stopped talking about you. I go live every day. So Sunday, I talked about you. Monday, I talked about. Today's Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. So Tuesday, I talked about you. I've never seen this. I don't even know if you know. Do you know any other fighter that's Mexican and Puerto Rican? I don't know any other weight class. I don't know any. You're the first that I know of.
Yeah, that I know of, it's either Mexican or Puerto Rican. So it's a little weird, kind of combine both of them. But
this is insane.
I got to put you on the spot, man. When a Mexican and Puerto Rican are fighting, who you rooting for?
That's the tough part.
Right?
Kind of like that's what I'm just looking by who the fighter is, not by
Yeah.
So you're from. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, B.
I'm sorry, Ness. So who are some of the guys that you look up to now?
Right now, I mean, I have a lot of fighters. I like Tony Yoka, the Olympian. I think he's a really big up and comer that people have been sleeping on. And then obviously like the AJ Wilder, all those guys. They're big staples in the heavyweight division right now, and those are people you got to look up to and just admire, like hearing their story, because everybody has a struggle, and you gotta find that motivation to get through it, and get to something better. And I feel like those guys have that story.
Stupendous.
Go ahead. I don't want to jump over you. If you got something.
No, good.
No, I was gonna jump in. Yeah, man. Look, the performance that we saw you in, man. Even when I first got to meet you, Amaciel. Am I saying it right? Because I don't want to mess it up. Ami. All right. So for everyone out there, don't mess it up, man. Amaciel. All right. When I first met you, man, I was impressed. You know what I mean? Your posture, your build. You reminded me of a Tyson-esque build.
Yeah.
And you showed it in the fight. I mean. I know that you were an amateur since you were 10 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
And you just transitioned into the pros, right?
3-0, 3 KOs.
Yeah, just about 3 months ago, actually.
Damn, so one fight per month.
Literally, yeah, that's what we're going for.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and so how is it now in the pros with 3 fights in? How do you feel? Do you feel like now you're becoming more of a hunter and attacking a lot more than you would in the amateurs? What's your mental posture now when you're going into the ring with these guys as a pro?
I feel like it's sure different, but I feel like it's a matter of just being patient, and learning to set that base, because obviously in amateurs it's only 3 rounds, so it's like once you transition to those 4 rounds, you're like kind of okay, well, I gotta take my time now a little bit more and set my pace. Not like amateurs just go since the first round, and you gotta make sure you make your statement in those 3 rounds. So I guess when you jump to the professionals, it's like, okay, now I'm fighting 12 rounds in let's say hopefully, God willing, a year and a half, we in those 12 rounds. So that's why you gotta, since now, learn to last the distance and pace yourself. That way, when you get to those 12 rounds, it's not something you haven't seen, or it's not something that you're not used to.
When you talk about pacing yourself, do you think that you will change from fighting every month? Is that going to slow down? Or when you say next year and a half, you'll be fighting 12 rounders, are you seeing yourself fighting for the next year and a half every single month?
Well, I know as I go, the fighters are going to get tougher and the competition is going to be at a higher level. So I know it'll start slowing down once we get that peak at the top, But up to now, these next, I say half a year or so, I'm just gonna keep trying to fight every month, and we gotta go and we wanna, get that belt as soon as possible. I know I got what it takes. It's just a matter of implementing all the tools and everything.
I need to ask, do you have any headphones around there? iPhone headphones, any type of headphones?
No, she got some headphones.
You're the man, champ. See, because when we talk, you can hear it, but it's coming right back through your mic, killing us.
Okay. Yeah, let me go. Let me see. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna see if she got something.
Well, for those that don't know, we are joined by Amasail Jimenez, and that is his lovely mother. ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está?
Hola, Miss Jimenez.
I wonder, does she know that we can see her?
Yo, and who's my main man who just joined us on the right side, man?
Is this? Oh my God,
That's Divine Sense.
That's
Divine Sense, bro. That's an old schooler. You got to remember that dude.
Yeah, no, I do. The name was escaping me.
No, I'm playing.
But Divine, we're actually in the middle of an interview, but feel free to join in once he comes back. He's getting some headphones so we don't hear this little feedback. How are you, though?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just enjoying the show.
Thank you for joining us, man. So let everybody know where they can find you at, because I'm sure once we get to talking, they're going to ask.
Yeah, like Joseph said, man, I've been around for a long time. I think I came on here probably around 2009, one of the original OGs. And I was active for about 5 or 6 years, and I took a long-needed break after all of the turmoil that I was going through on my channel with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. I was traveling a lot, and I just came back like last month. So, I've been around for about a month, and I just climbed over 1,000 subscribers and making some noise already. So it's good to be back.
That's
you
nice.
Still live in Thailand? You still living in Thailand, bro?
That's my home base. Yeah, I'm usually traveling around from Thailand to other places, but yeah.
Okay.
Wow, man.
All right.
That must be interesting.
Crazy time zone difference, man.
So while we're waiting for our guests left us with the feedback, what do you think about this fight with Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk on September 25th?
To be honest with you, I think it's a pretty tough fight for Joshua, man. But I think this fight really comes down to experience. I think for what it is, for face value, I feel like it's going to be a pretty entertaining fight. I think something that stands out right off the bat is the fact that he's a southpaw, and that's always a bit interesting. And also the fact that I feel like he's got very, very good stamina for a big guy. I mean, he's a cruiserweight going into heavyweight, and sometimes stamina means a lot when you jump up in those big boys.
Definitely. Let me interrupt you, man. We got our guest back, Mr. Jimenez, the big heavyweight out of Tennessee, man. So, obviously, Keller Plant is from your hometown or area, home state, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an opportunity to meet him, work alongside him, get any good advice from him?
So, back in the day, I say like 5 years ago, I was actually a light heavyweight. I was fighting at 175 pounds, and we were supposed to spar, but it never fell through because you moved to Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah.
and then he becomes world champion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, you next up, man. I believe that you're next up, man. You got a very interesting combination, that is marketable. Your aggressive nature. Are you orthodox or southpaw? Because I seen you switch.
Orthodox.
But you switched in the fight.
Orthodox, but I switch.
Okay. Terrence Crawford, when he switches, right, like it's kind of showing that when he goes to southpaw, it's killer mode. How is it for you? Are you, when you switch to southpaw, is it because you're about to finish someone, or do you think it's just the openings?
I use it more as a tactic. Like if I'm inside and I'll switch left-handed, try and confuse him a little bit, work on the body. That way he sees a different angle that he hasn't seen before. Every round I like to do something kind of a little bit different, or either pace it up higher, slow down, or change to left-handed.
Yeah, give him different looks, keep him confused.
Exactly. It's a mind game with him, at the end of the day.
So 5 years ago, you were a light heavyweight, you're saying?
Yes, sir. I was going to go pro light heavyweight 5 years ago.
So did you just gain weight? Did your body just say, look, we're supposed to be a heavyweight? Why the change from light heavyweight to heavyweight? That's a lot of pounds.
So about a week before my pro debut, I ruptured my Achilles tendon in a sparring session completely. Like it snapped, and then I had to get surgery, and then it took me like 6 months of like just. It was a bad time, honestly, and it took 2 months of me just laying down, not being able to walk, not being able to do nothing, and then at that time I was like, man, I gotta get up. I gotta start doing stuff. And by that time I was already 270 pounds, 280 pounds.
Lord.
And I done gained.
You gained 100 pounds in 6 months.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Was it depression because of your injury? Was it just because you couldn't work out anymore and you were used to maintaining the weight? Like that seems like a lot, I'm just wondering.
It was a little bit of everything, not being able to walk. I was 18 years old, not being able to walk, not being able to do nothing. Boxing, I was like literally just about to hit my pro debut. I was ready, looking forward for it, on way, everything ready to go. And it was just a setback for me, honestly. And it took a lot out of me, but in those 6 months, I fully recovered from my surgery, came back and won like 4 national titles in the heavyweight division. So, I mean, I pushed forward through it and try and get back what I was going for.
So what do you think, though? You think maybe 10 fights from now you'll be a cruiserweight, or are you looking to stay at heavyweight and just turn your body into a heavyweight fighter?
I think heavyweight is my division. I just have to maybe cut a couple more pounds and get my body exactly right where I wanted to, which we're working on right now. And I think I should be a heavyweight. 230, 240 is what we're aiming for right now. So,
what was your height again?
I'm 6'3", 6'2".
Yeah, he's the same, almost the same height, if not the same as Andy. So.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of small heavyweights, or 6'2", 6'3". You got Brian Jennings, Rivas, Dillian White is 6'4". There's plenty of dudes his size. I was just wondering, since he was a light heavyweight 5 years ago, you start working and you're consistently back in the gym, that weight starts to fall off and maybe your decisions change. But the heavyweight division is a better division, a more lucrative division, a faster route at being a world champion, in my opinion. But does that scare you at all? Like 5 years ago, you was a light heavyweight. Like these dudes are big, man. I mean, Wilder's big, Junior Five, big. These dudes are big.
At first, I mean, my first time when I came back and I was my first fight, I was nervous. I was like, man, like I just jumped 2 divisions and I'm like here ready to fight, and then like, okay, I guess I gotta put in the work. And once I got under, I just felt, comfortable. I don't panic under pressure. I like pressure because it pushes me to that next level, So once I got in there, I'm not really whoever. It's me, and basically me versus him, and that's it. Don't matter weight class or nothing.
So Give me some of the names of the heavyweights you've been sparring with, because that's a huge transition as well. When you're sparring with like light heavyweights and probably cruiserweights to start sparring with heavyweights, it's a huge transition.
Yeah, I mean, I've been sparring Tony Yoka, for example. He's one of the guys I've been in camp with.
Did you do that in Tennessee? You did that in Tennessee, or you went to Virgil's gym?
Virgil's. I went to Virgil's, so I was out there.
We got to stop right there. Hold on. You can't tell me that you're around Virgil Hunter, man. Did he whisper anything in your ear? Did he tell you he likes the way you fight? You gotta let your hands go, son. You gotta.
Yeah, he's a big fan. He like gave me a whole bunch of proteins and this and that, and he's like, man, yeah, you just keep moving forward and you're gonna be great. Just keep working. So it was real.
Wow. So he said that. He said he thinks you'll be great.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I know Virgil very well. He's a very nice person, man. I actually was at the Tank Barrios fight, and I seen him there, obviously, and did a post-fight interview with him. That's amazing. So Tony Yoka, that's a tall man. I think we were just talking about him today. Isn't he like 6'9"?
I think so, somewhere around there.
So how was it? How was it trying to reach a taller man like that, especially skilled? He uses his range a little bit well.
Surprisingly, it was comfortable. I mean, I didn't really have any problems with it. It was really just a matter of getting the distance first. But once I got my distance, like I'm naturally a boxer. I'm not really a pressure fighter, but if I have to do pressure, I can, because since I was little, that's what I was taught. So, but with him, it was more of a boxing thing. I never really tried to go inside on him, just because he has his key punch is an uppercut. That uppercut is crucial on him. So I try to stay more on the outside box, use my movement, and I did pretty good with him. So
damn, so you boxed with a taller, longer man. That's impressive.
Yeah. Gotta do the opposite sometimes. People expect the shorter dude to come in and just brawl with somebody. When you box them, it gives them it changes their mentality. They don't know what to do.
Do you have a strength? Hey guys, don't let me hog. I could talk for hours. But do you have a strength and conditioning coach? Because I know you said to me that those traps are natural, but I just wonder if you could get a strength and conditioning coach to kind of, maximize, because they can turn you into a machine, bro. You can look the part as well as be the part. You look like genetically you have a good structure once you lean out. I mean, like I said, dude's traps are insane. I'm sure you're intimidating people at weigh-ins with those traps.
Yeah, we've been. That's what we're working on right now. We're trying to get my team together, and make a strong, solid team that we could work with and trust, because right now it's hard to find certain people that want to work and keep that momentum going, if it makes sense, and just keep going forward throughout the career. So people just want to come for a couple fights and then head somewhere else, or So we want somebody that we could treat like family and continue throughout the whole career. That's my goal. I want somebody I could carry on with.
But for sure, I like that. So you're back next month, August, right? Is it the 7th or the 21st?
I think it's the 21st. So we haven't gotten an opponent for that one for sure yet. That's kind of what we're still looking for right now, because it's hard to find fights.
Yeah, man. Well, speaking of fights, not that I want you to fight him, but people already saying it in the chat because they watched the fight with yourself, and they also watch Mac Truck. Do you see that as a fight for the future, or you don't think you guys will both be on the same level at the same time?
I mean, everything's a possibility, In boxing, it's what the people want, and maybe down the line that's a fight that will happen, But until now, I'm trying to build my base first, and then move on to the more difficult things. He was we and him actually, before all this happened, I fought at the Olympic trials. He was there too, and then we didn't get to fight. But that was a possibility too. So it's been happening for a while.
I hear you might spar him. You might not know, but obviously I spoke to Mustafa, who was there, and when I told him, like, yo, did you see Jimenez? He's like, yeah, I know that kid from the amateurs. and he asked where you were from, and they said that they would drive. I think they're only like 3 hours away from you. Is it only a 3-hour drive from Atlanta?
Nah, it's about 4.5.
Okay. Yeah, they said that they would drive to get that work. He said, yeah, man, we got to get that work with him. We got to put him in there young. So that's probably somebody you can use and at least get familiar with. And, that'll be a great headline. The two of you sparring, that would be a great headline. So you're at the fairgrounds, though. That's what the promoter was announcing, right? And that's in Tennessee?
Yeah, the Tennessee Fairgrounds, September 17th, I believe.
You fought there before, correct?
No, I've watched a lot of people fight there, but I've never got to fight there.
And are you being considered as the main event for this one, or are you just on the card? Do you know?
I'm not sure exactly yet. I don't think they've worked everything out 100%, but I know I'm on the card for sure.
Okay. That's great. So how are you handling, man, your pro success, having to take pictures and do interviews? Do you like it? Is it frustrating? Talk to me.
I'm happy about it. I see it as another day. I'm always down to take a picture with anybody. Even I could be nobody and I still be down to take a picture with somebody. It's just, I don't know. It's regular. I see it as another day. I don't see myself as anybody too special. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're special, champ. Believe me. Keep doing what you're doing, and you'll realize it. We got Mr. Adore. I don't know where he's from, but he says, outside of Fury, Joshua, and Wilder, what other top 10 heavyweights do you feel you match up well against? Wow, they're already trying to throw you against the top, man.
Yeah, I mean, other than those, I mean, we'll be ready for anybody. That's our goal. Whoever they throw at us, we gotta work hard and just full steam ahead. You know what I mean? If we want to be a world champion, there's no pick of who we could fight or this or that. It's whoever comes our way, and we just gotta put that work in and be ready for whoever.
Beautiful answer. Ruin a 504 in New Orleans. He says, "What are your plans for the rest of 2021?"
We want to get at least 3 or 4 more fights in. We want to end this year with 4 rounds, and then starting next year going to the 6 rounds.
All right. So 4 more fights, putting you at 7-0.
We want to get to 5-0.
Okay.
That's our goal. 5-0, 6-0, and then transition into 6 rounds.
Okay.
And then mid next year transition into 8, and then by then
that's
we'll be
right.
at 10.
Take those necessary steps. No skipping. We got Cisco Promotions. If you could fight anyone in the heavyweight division from this era or the past era, who would it be and why?
Let's see. I mean, I'd honestly like an Andy Ruiz fight, I'd say. I think that'd be a pretty good fight.
Nice.
He's a quick fighter.
He got fast hands, man.
Yeah, but I think I'm faster than him.
Whoa.
I'm faster than him.
Okay. I like the confidence. He says, in addition, name one heavyweight you wouldn't fight and why. And why. He put any why, but he meant and why. So somebody you wouldn't fight.
Only heavyweight I wouldn't fight. Only one is Sonny Canton, because that's my brother-in-law. I can't fight my brother-in-law. You know what I mean? All the other ones I'm down with.
Yo, I was just saying how I was talking about you yesterday, saying like, yo, they're probably gonna offer y'all big money to fight each other because of that.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, if the money
right, you might have to put hands on them. Like, I told you, don't be touching my sister.
Yeah. What happened? It's all love at the end of the day. We know this is a business, and he's there with my nephew, so I can't really. As long as he takes care of my nephew, I can't really say anything. So at the end of the day, whatever happens, happens.
That's taking care of the nephew. What's the famous heavyweight that said, if you my friend, give me the fight? You know what I mean? Because that's how we make money. But moving on, we got.
I got this one.
Oh,
this was from James Payne Letho. Says, "Le deseo mucho éxito. Es un placer verte crecer." Said, "I wish you much success. It's been a pleasure seeing your growth. I truly have the best seat in the house to your fights. Stay strong and fight hard, champ." James Payne Letho.
Man, thank you. I really appreciate it. Those are the type of things that make you feel good and make you work harder for the next fight.
For sure, champ. Keep
I
it
think
moving,
that
bro.
was
Coach Myers is next from Connecticut. He says, I see you fought Edgar Berlanga in the amateurs. What weight was that at, and what do you remember about that fight?
I think it was like 165 pounds, I believe, or 54. I think it was 54. I remember that fight. It was a split. I lost by split on that one, and I only had 10. I barely transitioned into open. So I had 11 fights. He had like 50 something or something like that. And even at that time, he was like kind of like his name was already out there. So it was kind of like, man, I'm already. They throwing me to the wolves young. I'm like, man. But I went in there, did what I had to do, and I lost by split. But it was a good learning curve,
But he ain't drop you, right?
Nah.
That Edgar Berlanga power ain't show up versus you.
Nah, I can stand my ground, that's for sure.
Now, how did that make you feel now? Fast forward, he's a pro, he's on Top Rank, it's all this hype around him being this knockout puncher. Did something go through your mind? Did you feel something in your body like, yo, I could do this, I'm gonna be there too?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of these people, like for example, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, all these people, I grew up with them in nationals, so I seen them all around. It's not like they just surfaced out of nowhere. I've seen them, like the process they went through, and I see myself going. I went through that process too. So in my head, I'm like, I know if it's a matter of patience and just doing everything at key, and then one day my chance will come too.
I'm so glad you brought up Devin, man, because I know right now, you're this undiscovered diamond, but Devin Haney said he wants to sign you right away. He's yelling out, yo, I want to sign that kid. He goes to the back to congratulate you, man. How was that? Obviously, you said you know him from the nationals and the amateurs, but he's transitioned. Like, dude's a full-time champion. He's a full-time promoter. He's balling right now. So how was that, like, him being at your fight, watching you knock somebody out, and then taking the time to go to the back to like talk to you, and then not only that, but verbalizing to the public that he wants to sign you?
Yeah, it's crazy, that's all the what I've been working for, just to get noticed, because it's hard, I've been slept on for a while, that's for sure. So it feels good to finally get a little bit of recognition and get somebody to actually see that I have that potential. So it feels really good, and it feels like my time is starting to come now for sure, and we're getting ready for big things.
I gotta ask, man, because you beat one of my boys, and Coach Meyer put that in his chat. He said you beat Jeremiah Milton in the amateurs, man. What's up with that? He's pretty tall. How'd you do that one?
We're actually, so that was when we went to the Olympic trials. I won the whole thing all the way into the finals in Salt Lake City. So, but after that, actually, he came to come train with us, because after that happened, I went to Team Puerto Rico, and I fought for the Puerto Rican Olympics. And then Jeremiah stayed in USA, and he wanted to fight for Team USA. So we were working together at the same gym. My trainer was training him and training me, and we were just sparring and getting together. So we were there for like a good month and a half, and we became good friends out there. So it's crazy how we went from fighting each other to being friends at the end.
And he transitioned to Vegas, right? So do you still get to see him or no?
Oh, we talk on the phone sometimes, and hopefully one day we'll be out there sparring in Vegas with him.
Nice. So do you do that often? You travel for sparring, or does it usually come to your home gym?
Most of the time we have to travel. That's because it's hard to find heavyweights like at that level. But
so your man Rodell, Super Maze, he ain't trying to spar with you. Oh, is he? Is he from out there?
Yeah, he's from out here. He's from Murfreesboro. But it's just our schedules never line up, because I work all day. So.
Oh, really? You're not a full-time fighter? What do you do?
Yes, sir. Me and my pops own a construction company.
Oh, wow. I did see your father. I seen he does bathrooms and stuff like that. I actually seen some of that on his Facebook. I didn't know that you worked, though.
Yeah, I'm a craft of all trades. I do a little bit of everything.
Wow. So you putting in 8 hours.
Yeah, well, more than 8.
Shit. We gotta get
sometimes that's
Come on,
6 and we get
anybody
out of 5.
listening, my man needs sponsors, man. He can't be the heavyweight of the fucking world and working. He gotta be working in the gym. He need 2 sessions a day. Get these sponsors. You want to be on his trunks? What's the phone number to get on your trunks? So I'm sure you selling advertisement on your trunks and your jackets these days, no?
Yeah, it's 615-397-1521.
Let's go, man. Listen. And Eddie, if you're listening, this is a perfect addition to Canelo's new Mexico Dazn right here. You know what I'm saying? Get this guy on a few cards. Heavyweights popping. Listen, we got a few more questions here from What Rep It. Says, Campeón, ¿cómo está? At what age do you see yourself winning that WBC World Championship title?
I think in the next 4 to 5 years. That's beautiful. In between there, I think that's what we're going for.
We got Victor Banuelos that says, do you believe Earl Spence Jr. has the ability to retire Manny Pacquiao?
I think he does. I mean, he's a very good fighter. Manny Pacquiao, I think, is at that age where he's just trying to make his last couple dollars and head out.
Bet. I think that's the last one. El Bazuka. Let them know where they can find you on Instagram, Facebook, and all these forms of social media, man, and how they can find about your next fight, ticket situation, all that.
Yeah, all my social media is El Bazuka Jimenez. That's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of them. El Bazuka Jimenez.
Yo, so I was asking, and yesterday I think Maestro was Cuban. So I was asking, why'd you choose El? Because it's not like you be like if I'm
That's Mexico, right?
If I'm in the room with you, you're not gonna be like, yo, Ness, pásame el bazooka, right? Like I'm gonna be like, pásame la bazooka. But I'm Dominican, so I guess my idioms are different, right?
Yeah. So in Mexico, they'll use El as him instead of it. So it's like it's a little bit different, it's
if you
it's
got
hard
it's like the nicknames are like that. Empieza con el, el Cholo, el Bazooka, el el Chapo. It's a El, bro. That's how it is.
That's interesting.
That is interesting because I'm like, yo, La sounds smoother. Pásame la bazooka. Pásame la bazooka.
That's the Dominican.
Yeah.
That's the Caribbean. The
Caribbean side.
I had to add a little bit of both.
Nah, you're right. I love that you're both, bro. I cannot wait. Listen, I'm going to use my platform the best I can to let the world know about you, man. And we're going to do all that we could to give you the push, man. I've never seen anything like you. And I'm not talking just skills, just the marketability side. Like you have that. You're ahead of the game because you got both worlds right now. All you got to do is keep fighting. The fact that you speak English and Spanish, that you're Puerto Rican and Mexican, bro, you just got to keep winning. Like you literally just got to keep winning, man. I'm sure you don't know the story of Christopher Lovejoy, but if you look it up, you'll know what I mean by just keep winning. Just keep winning, bro. You'll be in a title shot in no time. And we're going to be right here supporting you and letting everybody know where you could buy it, get those tickets and follow you, man. So thank you for coming on the show. And we look forward to getting you back on. The minute you can make an announcement for your September 17th fight, we'll get you back on so you can announce it and the opponent and how to get those tickets, man. Thank you again. Say hello to your father. And, yeah, man, let's catch you on the next one.
All right, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Right.
Gracias a todos que están viendo ahí y al pendiente de mi carrera, que nosotros vamos para encima y eso es un proceso que va a ser muy bonito.
All right, thank you. There he is,
champ.
English and Spanish.
Woo!
Let's go, champ. Feel me?
Thank you, brother. Take it easy. Yo, so I like this kid, man. Hopefully, being on the show gets someone's attention. Someone's got to pick this kid up, put him on television right now. Like his process deserves to be televised like every other heavyweight that is signed to a major. I think that might be it. We got the story. he was a 175 pounder 5 years ago. Maybe promoters are like, he's fat. They don't believe he's a heavyweight. They want to see him be a heavyweight first. That's exactly what it is. Bro, you can't be a light heavyweight. They looking at him like, oh, he's undisciplined. That's what the fuck it is, bro, because I've never seen a 13-time national champion not signed to a major. So that's what it is. They're like, yo, he was a heavy. The matchmakers are looking at him like, he was a light heavyweight. He ballooned. This kid's undisciplined. Yeah. Because no one went out to see. Bro, he's just a young kid that grew out of light heavyweight division on top of going through.
I mean, how old was he 5 years ago?
He said 18. He said he was supposed to turn pro at 18 and he got the accident.
Yeah, you still got a lot of growing to do, man, from 18 years old. So, and look, what we saw, he carries that weight very well.
Hell
he
yeah.
He didn't seem sluggish, slow.
At
he
all.
would dart in really fast.
Change from southpaw to orthodox. It's on. It's a wrap. We know. Now we know. We all know the powers that be listen to the show. They gonna start looking. We'll see him pretty soon. Moving.
Promoter's dream.
He is.
I
know now. See, I was asking myself. I know now. That's what it is. They letting him. Watch when he fights a legit heavyweight, like someone that promoters know, and it's like, it's a wrap. His phone gonna start ringing because now they know, oh shit, he beat a real one. We could fuck with him. Right now he's got the club level heavyweight, so it's like, you're supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Wait till he beat at least a club level journeyman. His phone gonna start ringing. But let's get back into the international heavyweights. UK zone, Anthony Joshua. Divine Sense, you were in the middle of giving your breakdown or at least your thoughts on the September 25th. I want you to transition into AJ's thoughts. He believes Fury is just, and I quote, as good as Tyson Fury. Do you believe that?
Don't ask me that question.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Do you believe that?
Oh, okay. Well, as of late, I haven't thought very much of Fury, so it's hard for me to give an honest.
All right, elaborate. I want to go down that wormhole.
Well, to be quite honest with you, man, I've always been a Wilder supporter, even before he became a champion, when he was coming up through the ranks. I knew about him when he was going to the Olympics in 2008, before I even came on YouTube. So I've been following Wilder's career for a long time. I've always believed in him. And I just personally feel that he's a man of integrity. He's a man of honor. He doesn't always make the right decisions, maybe outside of the ring, but I feel like he means well. And I just feel personally like he's just portrayed as somebody that he's not, in a negative light, not a positive light. So with that being said, with all the antics that have been happening and all of the allegations and all that stuff put to the side, because I know that's been a huge topic the past couple of months.
Year.
But just more so, just on a boxing standpoint, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't agree with Fury not giving any clarity to the boxing fans on what's going on. You know what I mean? It's just kind of we're just sitting here waiting, trying to get information, and it's like, did he have COVID? Did he not have COVID? Did he get vaccinated? Did he not get vaccinated? And you don't hear anything from the man himself. Now, I understand you got promoters and managers and blah, 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 but that's where I separate the difference between someone like Fury and Wilder. Because if the tables were turned and it was Wilder who supposedly got COVID, I feel like Wilder would have came and spoke to the people, because that's what Wilder does. He feels like he is the people's champ. And that right there, it just rubs me the wrong way. And obviously being a Wilder fan on top of that, I came back from my layoff, right? I was gone for about 4 or 5 years. I came back, made a new channel. It's called Divine Sense Reborn. And I dropped my second video. I dropped a video called Deontay Wilder Will Smash Tyson Fury. I only had like 200 subscribers at the time because I was waiting for people to come back and realize that I was back. And that video got 20,000 views. And so a lot of people went crazy. Like, how dare you say that Wilder's going to smash Fury? How dare you? And, and I didn't even talk about the allegations or nothing. I spoke purely on a boxing perspective. And I just talked about how I thought, Wilder was going to come back and improve his mistakes from the second fight.
So I take it you watched the Malik Scott Wilder footage that's been out. There's a lot of it now. Have you seen any of it?
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of it. I try not to get too much into the politics of boxing because I consider myself more of on the sweet science type of things. I try to look at boxing matchups as objectively as I possibly can and give my expertise to my subscribers, and that's how I try to operate my channel. But yeah, of course, I felt that Malik Scott was a good move in my personal opinion. Nothing against Mark Breland and all that drama, but I feel like Malik Scott is a heavyweight himself. He's a big man himself. He's been in the ring with high caliber, heavyweights himself. He can do certain things that is a little bit different than Mark just based off of physical stature alone. Holding mitts, being taller, and having Wilder slip jabs and move and hit the body. It's just a whole different dynamic. And a lot of people don't look at those little small details. When you're a heavyweight and you're 6'7", and somebody's holding the pads for you that's 5'8", that's a big difference. When you're moving around the ring and trying to simulate a heavyweight boxing match.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, Malik Scott is he's known for being a boxer. He wasn't the best heavyweight, but he has abilities that Deontay Wilder doesn't always display. And I think Malik saw something in Wilder that you have the athletic ability to be even better than what you are. You already have the power. You have the grit. You have the determination. You have the courage. Now we're just going to tweak it a little bit and make you a little bit sharper. And I just feel like Fury, he knew the storm was coming, in my opinion.
I'm definitely a psychopath, and I hope he knows that.
Well, good morning, Maestro. How are you? Uh-oh, he's stretching. He about to come. What you got? What you got?
Oh, look at this guy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone in the chat. Good morning to Joe Habib, my friend who was on earlier and who is now gone. Yeah, when you were talking about the honorable person, Kenny, who were you talking to? Because I kind of chipped in and out at that point. I was logging in here.
I said that I feel like Deontay Wilder is a person of integrity.
Okay.
Has honor.
So
Yeah.
what is it? I mean, we must have a different version of or understanding of the word integrity because, I mean, he threw Mark Breland, a fellow black man, an elder statesman in the sport of boxing, under the bus, accused the brother, Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion. You will not find anybody in the sport of boxing to say anything bad about Mark Breland. He said that he was a disloyal trainer because of his previous ties to the Kronk gym. And if that wasn't enough, he then went on to say that, again, Mark Breland, the elder statesman in the sport of boxing, I believe he's in like 7 Hall of Fames, including one for African-American athletes, in addition to all the boxing ones. He said that he spiked his water. I mean, that would be like Ty Lue being accused of spiking the water by, Kawhi Leonard or Paul George because they didn't play as well as they did in the previous game. Like, that's unacceptable to me. That's not integrity.
Yeah, so I hear you. And trust me, I've looked deeply into both perspectives. I did say, I don't know if you caught that before you jumped on, that I felt that I don't have anything personally against Mark Breland. As a matter of fact, when it first happened, it struck me as odd. I didn't understand it because, yeah, I mean, this is a guy that you've been loyal to for so long. But I will say this on a personal note. What I do for a living is, strength and conditioning coaching, and I've worked with fighters. I live in Thailand, so obviously I work with Muay Thai fighters. And I've been a cut man. I've been in and out of the ring in different areas. And when you're a fighter and you experience the type of loss that Wilder experienced, right? It was devastating, right? We can all agree on that. Rather you believe Fury won cleanly or not cleanly or fairly, whatever it means. I mean, he had to go home and soak up in that loss, right?
Yep.
And so me personally, I don't think it was Wilder saying, why'd I lose this fight? Oh, it was Mark Breland's fault. Now, obviously, he was upset because he threw the towel in. And then for that reason, I'm torn, because on a fighter's perspective, I get it. When you tell your trainers and your family that, yo, this is what I do. If I die in here, it's because this is what I signed up for. You're with me as my team and as my loved ones. You sign on that with me. We're in this together. I'm a warrior. So for your trainer to betray that code of honor, I guess you can say, that cuts deep when you're a fighter. Okay, it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. I'm speaking from a fighter's perspective. Now, on a trainer's perspective, I get it, because I've been in corners where trainers have thrown in towels or forced their fighter to stop fighting on the stool, and you want to protect your fighter. My point is that Deontay Wilder took it extremely personal. And when you take it that personal, when you have that much honor and respect with somebody, and you tell them to their face, you look into their eyes, don't stop the fight no matter what, and they do it, then more shit will start pouring into your mind very easily. And I don't think it was him per se, but I think it was other people chirping in his ear. And he was looking for clarity, like, why wasn't I myself? Why was I weak in my legs? Why did I not feel right? Why was I feeling this way? Why did the fight go this way? And when you have people chirping in your ear, like, yo, but you might want to check your boy. Like, are you sure your water was good? Are you sure this was good? And he just, he made a rash decision and told him, like, it ain't working out no more. And do I agree with it? I think it could have been handled much better because it went into the media and it didn't make him look good in that respect. But sometimes when you think you got a snake in the garden, even though you don't see that snake, and I'm not calling Mark Breland a snake, I'm just saying when you feel like there's a snake in the garden, you want to get rid of that snake to make you feel more comfortable. That's all I'm saying. So that's just my perspective.
Right. So couple things. One, if he wants to fire somebody and hire somebody new, that's his prerogative, obviously. Mm-hmm. If he wants to tell Mark Breland never to throw in the towel, and Mark Breland does that, and then as a result of that, Mark Breland gets fired, again, that's his prerogative. But a trainer's responsibility, first and foremost, is to the health and safety of the fighter. A trainer is like a doctor in a certain respect, in that they have a duty to perform, and that duty supersedes anything the fighter wants to say. Like, if I go into the hospital and the doctor's saying I need to do this, I'm going to do this to save your life, and I'm like, nah, just let me die. Like, no, the doctor's not going to do that, right? Now, if later on, I want to fire that doctor or go to a new hospital or whatever, that's my prerogative. And that part of it I get from Deontay Wilder's perspective. But here's the thing. He gave a post-fight interview with Bernardo Osuna in the ring. Anyone can go check it, all right? Where he said he had problems going into the fight. He said he knew what those problems were, right? And then the whole thing with the Wakanda suit came out, you know what I mean? He was blaming it on the 40-pound Wakanda suit. Then it was the glove placement. Maybe there wasn't enough horsehair in the glove. Maybe there was egg weights in the glove. All right, if you want to say these things, whatever. Now you're blaming the commission. You're blaming, Fury. You're blaming everybody under the sun. But what's weird is you're not throwing the white man in your team under the bus, the one who was actually responsible for overseeing the gloves, the one who's on video overseeing the gloves. That man stays, but the black man gets fired. Okay. So whatever, like we could accept certain things up to this point, but where you cross the line, in my view, is when you then say that Mark Breland spiked your water.
Hey, what happened?
That is a bridge too far. And again, go to the post-fight interview with Bernardo Osuna. Oh, I had some problems going into the fight, but no excuses, but I had some problems going into the fight. So that he said he knew then and there why his legs were not what they were supposed to be, right? So why was it later on that the Wakanda suit became an issue? Why was it later on that the Mark Breland spiking the water became an issue, right? I didn't hear him calling for an inspection of the gloves like right after the loss. If I'm getting hit by a man who I said was feather-fisted and hit like a bitch the first time I fought him, right? And then all of a sudden I'm being hit by the super heavyweight Roberto Duran, right? You would expect them to be like, yo, you know what? I need some analysis on those gloves. I need you to go figure out what's going on because I've never been hit that hard. But let's put all of that to the side. My biggest issue, and I think that Mark Breland's owed a very public apology. Personally, I used to be a fan of Wilder up until this fight and all the excuse making. And, you know, once he threw Mark Breland under the bus, I mean, check it out. He beat Sugar Ray Robinson's record for most Golden Glove wins in the history of Golden Glove boxing. Right? He was an AIBA World Boxer of the Year, Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion, 6 or 7, maybe more Hall of Fames. You're going to accuse that man of spiking your water, which, by the way, is a felony, right? I'm surprised he hasn't been sued because he said that with no evidence at all. So the integrity part is out of the window. I'm not saying that Fury's got any integrity. To me, they're both clowns, all right? And the only man that I can see is serious right now of the guys that are at that top tier is pretty much just AJ. AJ says something, AJ does something. AJ loses, yeah, he looks a little bit funny with the towel over his head at the Garden after the Ruiz loss, but he's not blaming people for spiking water or blaming a Wakanda suit or anything else. So, look, man, for me right now, it's AJ and it's the juggernaut Joe Joyce, which I hope you guys talk about at some point. And if Wilder Fury happens, it happens. I hope it does, but those are the two clowns in the heavyweight division.
I just want to clarify real quick because I don't want the picture to be painted that I'm out here promoting the idea that I believe in all the allegations. I'm just simply coming out saying that when I've made my videos talking about the Tyson Fury Wilder fight, right, which kind of propelled me into this type of conversation, I talked strictly about the fight, the third fight. And I said that I thought that Wilder was going to come back, perform better, and win the fight. And of course, naturally, people came onto my channel and was like, "Oh yeah, Fury's a cheater, and Fury this, and Fury that," and all they bring up the allegations, obviously, right? That's what happens on YouTube. But I never bought into it. I simply said that I felt that Wilder didn't look normal entering the fight. I didn't say why I thought it. I didn't say, oh, maybe it was this or maybe it was that. I just said he didn't look himself.
So why do you think it? What do you think
why do
was
I think
wrong?
that?
Yeah, why do you think was wrong? What do you think was wrong?
I don't know.
He said himself. Again, look at the video with Bernardo Osuna. I got a breakdown of it on my channel, Maestro A Boxing, shameless plug right there. Go check it out. I go through the entire post interview. He makes it clear that he had problems going into that fight. It sounds like he's inferring that he had injuries or that there were issues with his body, but he made it clear in that post-fight interview right after the fight that he had bad legs going into the fight and that he knew what the reason was.
You know what it is sometimes after you take a whooping like that, or a defeat for that matter, you start to look for reasons why you lost, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially immediately after the fight. So God knows he could have been saying his toe hurted, his knees were bad. He could have been saying a million things. It's crazy after a fight, you know, the energy that's still surging through you. I mean, if anybody's fought, you know, your hands will still be kind of shaky because, you know, you're at full pump. And when you take a beating like that, you know, you that's why I never really agreed too much with interviewing fighters, especially fighters that get, you know, knocked out and come to for an interview because they're just not all there, you know. After a fight, you're not all there. Now, I'm not excusing Deontay Wilder for whatever he said throughout all these interviews because I got my own thing. I'm the one who popped out with Glovegate, you know what I'm saying, and started with this whole, you know, flappy glove. And it took off because everybody saw it. And I know, Maestro, you might, you know, have other feelings about Wilder because of what he did to Breland or whatnot, but that still was a floppy glove. You know what I'm saying?
The glove, though, Alex, was from the first fight. That's when the glove was floppy. So, I mean, it's funny because everybody mixes and matches stuff. Oh, he was on coke. Oh, he popped for PEDs. So therefore he loaded his gloves. Oh, there was a floppy glove in the first fight. Therefore his gloves were loaded in the second fight. Look, what would the reaction of the sports world be if this morning, right, Devin Booker went on TV and started talking about Monty Williams spiking his water?
Yeah, I thought the spike in the water thing was a little.
Would that be accepted? Because if it's accepted for Wilder and Breland, then now we got to give all these dudes passes to do that. You know what, Monty?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who are those guys you're speaking of?
Giannis. That's why I lost to Giannis last night. My water was spiked. Matter of fact, you know, I walked into the arena wearing the Wakanda suit with all these, you know, flashing lights and everything on it. Right?
You cutting deep now because I'm from the Valley, so I'm already suffering from that loss. But I hear you. I hear you though. I hear you.
Well, let me jump in here and just get to some of these super chats, get some engagement from the people. And I want to go ahead and give out the results to the poll. So far, we're doing a poll. Is Usyk just as good as Tyson Fury? 44% of the people are saying yes. 56% are saying no. That's from 388 votes. So that's pretty good amount of people that chose to vote. We're going to go to, looks like Kamel on the super chat, $2. And he says, Usyk didn't look good against Tablespoon Chisora. And I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
We got Coyote?
We definitely got to Coyote with the do a poll. That's the poll that's playing. We got Drew is up next. He says, flight is booked and we out to London in September for the heavyweight event. Not a trilogy with no buzz and COVID excuses to mass low ticket sales. Anyone want to counter that? What about you? Obviously, you've taken the Wilder side of this. Do you believe Fury fake COVID because ticket sales or because he got knocked out in sparring? There was some Jared Anderson rumors. You believe any of those rumors? Ticket sales or knocked out in sparring?
I don't believe the ticket sales personally. I can't say if they were doing great or if they were doing horrible. I don't think they were doing bad to the point where they have to force a postponement. As far as the sparring, I think it's possible. I think it's possible that he wasn't looking good in sparring. But again, is that enough reason to postpone the fight? I don't know. All I can say is there's not enough clarity, in my opinion, coming from Fury's team to explain why the July 24th date couldn't happen other than, he got COVID. Because there's just too many holes in that, in my opinion.
I could speak.
Jared put him down.
I could speak to that. So, first of all, he got COVID because he's a clown and he wasn't taking the necessary precautions to protect himself. And because this training camp and this fight was taking place in a COVID hotspot. Nevada is one of the states where COVID, especially the new Delta variant, is going crazy. Hospitalizations are up. You could check it. It was all over the news. Like, they should have never held that camp in Nevada. They should have never held that fight in Nevada if what they really wanted to do was protect the fight from taking place. I don't know if you guys saw, but a bunch of U.S. Olympians just tested positive for COVID, including on the U.S. national basketball team. It's unfortunate, but people are testing positive for COVID. They needed to be in a bubble. And my fault, everybody, for shouting earlier. I get heated with the Mark Breland thing. My bad. So that's number one. You got to blame him to a certain extent, but I also blame Bob Arum. I also blame MTK Global because you're dealing with a very erratic guy who does whatever he wants when he wants, and he should have had like a Mayweather level security team around him the entire time, making sure that there were no unvaccinated, untested people anywhere around him. But the reason it's not taking place in August is rather simple. They didn't want to go head to head with another pay-per-view, which was Spence and
Well, it was
And
supposed
that-
to be July 24th, though. That's the date that we're talking. That has the conspiracy around it.
No, what I'm saying though, that they couldn't do July 24th, which is this Saturday, because of the positive test, right? Usually they would have delayed it probably to August, but you got a Spence and Pacquiao taking place. They don't want to have 2 pay-per-views in the same month. They don't want to go head-to-head with Canelo in September. So unfortunately, us as boxing fans, we got to wait until October. But I think that that's really the reason why, if you take all of the anger about the situation out, you know, and just look at it just from a business perspective.
Yo, can I ask a real quick question? So you remember in the Western Conference Finals, right? Chris Paul tested positive.
Yeah.
And then he came back in like 10 or 11 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just curious if that was the case and I understand that Chris Paul was verified to be fully vaccinated. That's the news that came out.
Yep.
Now, originally, if I'm not mistaken, Bob Arum said that Fury was fully vaccinated.
He
lied.
lied.
Then he doubled back. Yeah, he doubled back and said, "Oh, maybe it was only one." So maybe that's the reason why they couldn't do the 10 to 14 day window to try and obviously the July 24th date is impossible, but essentially if you can get it in early August away from the Manny Pacquiao fight, then you would want to do that, right? You want to keep it as close to the original date as possible. If in fact he has had one vaccination and if he's not really sick. But that's my whole point that I get frustrated about it, is because there just wasn't enough information. It was simply he got COVID, new date's October 9th. So
And also,
take it or leave it.
Yo, bro, I agree. And it's frustrating too when you're dealing with a guy who's a proven liar who literally said, yesterday I was lying, today I'm telling the truth. That's Bob Arum, right? Mm-hmm. There is a precedent for a really rather quick turnaround. We saw it with the Joe Smith Glassall fight, right? It got delayed and then they put it on, like, I think, was it like a month later? The problem though, again, is that the PBC, this would have been like a Fox pay-per-view co-promotion. They don't want to put 2 pay-per-views on in the same month. And Pacquiao Spence is taking place on October the 21st. So even in the scenario you've laid out, you're literally talking about having a pay-per-view one weekend and then a pay-per-view the following weekend or 2 weekends later at the most. And that's just not something that I see the PBC wanting to do because they know that it's going to affect sales of both pay-per-views.
Yeah, I guess I see that. I just, for me, it's just a pet peeve, man. I mean, we're talking about world-class athletes here. We're talking about thousands of dollars. I mean, more than that. I mean, obviously the purses, but I mean the fans buying tickets for the fight, the fans buying plane tickets, hotel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's just kind of like, he got COVID. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. It's October 9th. You know, it's just disrespectful.
Yeah. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for the simple reason that they announced the fight maybe less than 30 days before the cancellation. Like it was only 30 days later. Like they did in LA. Check your emails whenever you got your press release for the press conference. That's when they announced the fight. It was literally 30 days till the date, and it's like that's not enough time. That's not enough time to promote.
And the reason they did that, Ness, is because they wanted to make sure they got it in before the Pacquiao Spence pay-per-view. That's why it was rushed. Now, if you look at a comparable example, right, with another fighter testing positive for COVID, you look at Teofimo Lopez, right? When was that fight set to take place? I believe it was June.
That's
right?
That's another crazy conspiracy, though. Because
now they're talking about that fight not taking place until October.
No, they're saying at all.
Even at all, yeah, you're right. But the reason it's at all is because Triller wants to put it on in October in Australia, because they want to make money and because it's a much bigger fight in Australia than it is in the U.S. And Teofimo doesn't want to wait until October, nor does he want to fight in Australia. So unfortunately, business decisions and businessmen always like supersede, what we want necessarily as fans. And what we want is to see fights like right now. I wanted to see this fight this Saturday. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife was not even a big boxing fan, was looking forward to it.
All right. Well, let me get to some of these super chats. We got Fred Robinson. It says, yo, Mark or Fury called Wilder a liar or even denied anything to this day. So basically he's saying that Mark Breland or Tyson Fury have yet to call Wilder a liar or like file a defamation, a character lawsuit, something like that. Basically, he's trying to insinuate, why haven't they called him a liar? Because he got proof and they know he did cheat, something like that.
That's not really true. They haven't sued him, but they obviously have said that what he alleges to have happened didn't happen. They've both done that. So, I mean, you could go in and look at that if you want. But I agree, Lil. They should have sued. In fact, Tyson Fury's dad gave a long interview. I believe it was with Boxing Social.
He's back with another one, another $5. He says, hasn't called Wilder a liar. Thinking emoji.
I mean, okay. I mean, liar, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I can't explain what nouns people are using in the interviews they give, but I mean, they've both said that he's pretty much a clown for saying what he said and what he said didn't happen. But would it have been more impactful if they sued? Yeah, I agree. It would have been way more impactful if they sued. But let me ask him something. Do you think that Mark Breland spiked his water? I mean, if you say, put down a $5 super chat saying that. I think that Deontay Wilder was spiked, had his water spiked by Mark Breland. Because the funny thing is, all of these people that keep capping for Wilder, very few of them go on the record and say that. They don't cross that bridge.
Well, because
I just saw a video today. I don't want to mention any names, but there was a YouTube channel that literally just brought up the water scandal, like literally yesterday, saying that there was some audio that leaked of Tyson Fury's brother saying, "Yo, don't drink that water. That's not our water," something like that. So it's out there.
Yo, this is why this fight needs to happen,
talking about
bro.
it.
I've never, this is such a movie, this fight. But let me get to this other super chat. We got Coyote, who says, Poe should be AJ on the pound for pound list if he beats Usyk. Polls are $5. $5 recommendation for polls. Give me $5. I'll put your poll up. We got another one from Roland, who says, unfortunately, Mark Breland wasn't the only brother that Wilder attacked. Why does everybody ignore Wilder blaming Kenny Bayless, crab in a bucket?
That's a funny one. Because to me, Kenny Bayless makes two clear knockdowns. And if anything, was protecting Wilder, because anytime the two of them were fighting on the inside, he's slapping Fury's back and breaking them apart, which was a big reason Mayweather loved him as a ref. Kenny Bayless hates inside fighting. Watch his fights. He doesn't allow guys to get busy on the inside, which is a big part of boxing. Imagine what Bo Holyfield would have looked like with Kenny Bayless as a referee. I mean, every time they got in close, he would have been slapping one of them and separating them. Too handsy, right? I call him Kenny Big Ass Bayless. Ass cock, 45 degrees, hands out. He's got some OCD issues, always having to touch the fighters. I never get it, but he definitely missed clear knockdowns in that fight, because there was one where Wilder went back into the ropes clearly, and there was another one where Wilder got knocked down, but they called it a slip.
Well, we got another one right for you, my friend. JC says, why are you making it racial, maestro?
Why am I making it racial? Wilder made it racial. I mean, have you not heard his conversations with Fred Hawthorne from the barbershop conversations, or with other people? He's 78 Sports. I mean, everything he says, every conspiracy theory he's come up with is a racial one, right? I forget what he calls it, the right something, the complexion for the protection, I think is what he said. Tell me if I'm wrong, Ness, if he did not say that, the right complexion for the protection. You know, I'm not the one who inserted race. He's the one who inserted race. The funny thing is that once you look at what he's saying after he racializes it, why did he throw the black man under the bus but kept the white man in the corner, and the white man was the one who was responsible for supervising the gloves? It's kind of ironic. I'm sorry.
We got a super chat from Potato Chip that says, "Do not resuscitate? Do not resuscitate. Who are we not resuscitating? Who's getting knocked out? Who we not bringing back to life? Uh-oh. All right. Well, that is that. Let me refresh here. I'm going to go out to some of these callers. If you're on the phone lines, you know.
Oh, there's one more, Ness. There's another super chat there from Kapuni. He said you will still get COVID even with a double vax. And that's actually true.
Yeah, it is true. They say you can still get it. I don't know if anyone's actually gotten it, but they do say that you can still get it. We got a couple other ones, but I'm going to just get to some phone lines. I know people are interested in jumping in on some of the conversation. We're going out to Cincinnati. Brandon, you available?
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Hey, whole nother time zone. Jumped up for back with our mind on. Can't play when you here, get your life stole. If you bring it here, then the price grow. From jabbing and punching the line long. I drop a pigeon, let 9 go. We slap with the fake glass and white go. This only happens in Ohio.
Ness, how my audio sound, brother?
Man, you on that? You on the move? But go ahead, talk to us, man.
Okay. Hey, come back to me. Come back to me.
All right. Caesar in Vegas, just listening. Shout out to everybody that uses the show during their daily commute or while they're on the road as a driver, working, whatever you're doing, running. I appreciate you listening to us in the morning. Caesar, what up?
Yo.
I hear you.
Is it, how's my background?
You good? Talk to us.
Yo, man, this whole situation is pretty crazy with you guys got off on what? I thought we were supposed to be talking about Joshua Usyk, man.
Yeah, I know.
we right back to Wilder Fury.
We
man.
right back to the biggest heavyweight in the world, man.
Goddamn right. In Jesus' name. But and as far as saying Usyk is better than Fury, I mean, man, I think that's quite a bit of a reach to be able to say that. I mean, I understand Usyk did his thing at cruiserweight, but who really can you pick? You know, like what boxing fan could really go down the line and say, you know, name you all of Usyk's wins and his accomplishments? Not very many people, unfortunately. You know, Dillian White's words, you know, still ring in your ear, man. You know, it speaks no English. So, plus on the skill level, I mean, you guys already seen what he did with the teaspoon and the way he looked with what's that other Takam, right? He didn't look that good against Takam either. So, as far as saying he's better than Fury, I mean, or as good as Fury, I think Josh was just talking shit. You know, he's another guy in his division. You gotta downplay him, but I think that's just heavyweights talking trash. I think that's just another fighter, you know, just talking. So I wouldn't really put too much stock in that. I'm excited for that fight, though. I'm excited for that Usyk Joshua fight. It's gonna be exciting. I think Joshua stops him. So can't wait, man. And great show. Love the panel. Shout out to you guys and TBB for life.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in and expressing your opinion here. We got a few more super chats. Coyote wants me to read, do a poll. Or you really need just a little bit of proofreading. The poll, I read that one where you said the poll should be more skilled than Fury. Who's more skilled, Fury or Usyk? Then you got another one which I also read that says, should AJ be on the pound for pound list if he beats Usyk? You want a poll on that? I express that's a $5 little super chat. And we did roll in JC Potato Chip. The best dad ever is up next. Shout out to you. You've been around for a minute now. Salute for the support. We got a $4.99 for the best dad ever who says, oh, shit. He's coming for you, my intro. Why y'all gotta do why is the first insult like always homophobic? So he says, so meat stroke is saying since Breland has a good pass, he can't do something illegal? Wilder was looking for a reason why he lost. Believe what you want.
I didn't really even understand that. Was that addressed to me or?
Yeah, it was a play on your name, Maestro, meat stroke.
Okay.
Because you're the one talking about Breland. So yeah.
I mean, look, if I can go around and say that I think Ness did this or I think Kenny did that, I mean, if that's how we want to operate as a society, that I can just make accusations against people for committing crimes without, any kind of evidence or proof or anything at all. I mean, as a black person, have we not been a victim enough of people just assuming that we're criminals, assuming that we've done things that are bad for no reason with no proof? I mean, how many times have we seen these videos of these people in Central Park here in New York calling the police on black men, right? Because they're just walking their dogs or whatever, right? This shit's happened all over the country. Yeah, I don't like the fact that it's not, that it's a fellow black man doing it to another black man. Call me crazy for not liking that. If you want to say something about somebody, you better have some fucking proof to back up what you're saying. And then when you have a public platform, right, to answer questions about it, I don't want to see you with shades and headphones on. You should be answering the questions, right? I mean, if he's got the proof, show the proof. Otherwise, issue an apology. Because you can't just say things about people with no proof and not expect people like me and many others to be upset about it. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want people speaking about me like that. And quite frankly, I wouldn't want people speaking about you like that either. I'm just saying. Now, look, just to pivot back real quick to the thing about Fury and Usyk, because I never gave.
Real quick, Maestro, I got a counterpunch from Brandon. That means if you pay $5 either via Cash App to NSGTO or counterpunch here, $5 super chat on YouTube, you get to cut the line, come straight to the conversation. So go for it.
How my audio now, man?
Better.
Okay, cool. Hey, Maestro, I got one question, man. What you gonna do with that body you just caught? Are you gonna bury him in your backyard, or you gonna cremate him and piss on the ashes? Because you murdered him. What you gonna do with the body?
I don't know, man. I'm a cremation guy. I don't think we should be taking up land after we leave this earth.
Damn.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yo, I never heard that take before, Lord.
But I appreciate that. Yeah, Ness, I want to be sprinkled in the Caribbean Sea when I pass.
No, I hear you. I hear you, but
all I want to say is, man, just shout out to Anthony Joshua, man, because he consistently fights top 10 fighters. No controversy around his shit. He just gets these fights done. We ain't talking about water and suits and crab in the bucket referees when it comes to him. He took his L. Didn't make no excuses. Hell, he took his L and was riding a bike down Times Square the next day, still in New York, after he took his L, smiling. But this is the guy people say is the pussy and the punk and the bitch of the big three. But when you look at him, he's the only one really on some real shit. And then I did some, studying. I pulled up BoxRec's top 25 current heavyweights. This will be his 7th guy he beat in the top 25 of BoxRec's top 25 heavyweights if he beats Usyk. Tyson Fury's only beat 2 people in that top 25, and Wilder's only beaten 1 guy in that top 25. But yet AJ's the pussy and the bitch and the ducker. I don't get it. I never have.
Cut it. All right, champ. I gave you your 45-second counterpunch and your whole call. We got another counterpunch from JT in New Orleans. I'm going to go ahead and play this intro. And do you want your whole call too, or are you going to just counterpunch?
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll tell you this, mother. Why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem, turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yo, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yo, Maestro, you come off as a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit.
Whoa.
Now I'm just saying that from my intro. I'm just messing with him. But you know what, Maestro? My thing about you, man, I've been listening to you on the last few shows. You sound strong about your opinion, and it's just an opinion. Your stuff don't make it factual, even for calling somebody a clown. You would sit there and talk about what the Deontay Wilder excuses, what he made about his headphones. He ain't have his headphones. That's your opinion. You wanted to hear him boast on something that he already knew that was going to be a trap or set on, just like people like you to sit there and say to come up with the excuses. At the end of the day, I feel like, me personally, some of the stuff that you come out, I think you got some Wilder hate with you as well. So really, Brandon calling in, cheering you on, talking about, oh, you bodied somebody. Brandon is a hater, and he's from Alabama. So I don't, that we can't get no credit off that coming from Brandon call and stuff like that. You got some dislike towards Deontay Wilder. Then I heard you say, oh, I used to be a Wilder fan. You never was a Wilder fan and stuff like that. Hey, bro, at the end of the day, you taking hard for Mark Breland. We don't know what Breland did.
So I gave him both. I gave you both.
Can I respond to that, Ness?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so number one, you'll never catch me calling a human being a piece of shit. Definitely not a black person. So that's number one.
No. Let me. That's part of his intro. Just so you know, let me just play it so you can hear the beginning. That's all. He said that.
Okay. It's so interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey,
that's a Mike Tyson quote. You come across as a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. That's what.
Okay, I got you. And yeah, you're right. I have an opinion. I mean, I'm here to give an opinion. Ness is here to give an opinion. Like, I give my opinions. You can agree with it. You could disagree with it. And my opinion is that what Deontay Wilder did to Mark Breland was foul. You know, that not only foul, it's a flagrant foul to me. So, you know, he's been ejected from the game, in my opinion, until he issued the brother an apology. And yeah, I mean, you could ask anyone. I mean, you don't know the people that know me, but till this day, Wilder, like, I was a huge fan of the brother. I was, you know, I was amped up when he gave that interview to Radio Raheem. You know, I've defended him in terms of people saying that his defenses are bullshit and everything. Nah, he's done what he needed to do against the people that came up against him. He defended his title many, many times. And I mean, the knockout he had at Dominic Brazil is one of the most epic knockouts I've ever seen, right? The way he dusted off Luis Ortiz coming back in that fight and finishing him here in New York at the Barclays was epic, right? I felt that the way he finished Ortiz even the second time coming back after losing all those rounds was epic. But I'm going to call it, as I see it, balls and strikes. And what he did to Mark Breland, I just can't condone it. So that's my opinion. And you could disagree with it, fam, but I appreciate you calling in and supporting my brother Ness and his channel.
Texas Bulldog Boxing, $2 super chat says, Nicholas Asbury has also not been called a liar yet. 100 emoji. That is true. Nicholas is on a lower level. Did I lose you guys or something? Are you there? Anybody?
I'm still here.
Okay, thank God. No, I have a really bad rainstorm out. You know, Florida rains every now and again. I'm like, damn, did I lose them? But yeah, I mean, Nicholas Asbury hasn't been hit with a lawsuit. That does, you know, isn't that fishy? Like, a guy who really isn't rich, couldn't really last in a legal battle, hasn't been silenced? No conspiracy there? No? Okay, we're going to some phone calls.
I'd have to look into that one a little bit more, Ness.
I mean, yeah, he's out here doing interviews, calling Fury, you know, a glove cheat, showing videos of, you know, like gloves and stuff like that. That's definitely out there. We've all seen that. We're going to Aaron in California. What's up?
What's up, Ness? Yeah, you know, this message to my good. How you doing? This message is to Maestro. You know, I think he's just jumping all over the place with this. He gets political about being race, but he doesn't understand Wilder, who had over 10 defenses, in a day and age where you're talking about BLM, critical race theory, you can completely see that the media has been against Wilder. So if you want to take it with race, then why hasn't the media got behind Wilder? Ask that. Ask any look at any news network. Why not? So with Wilder, yeah, he could have handled that Mark Breland situation differently. I definitely agree with that. But do you jump ship on a brother because he made one mistake? I don't understand the logic. Like, it's an opinion. He handled it wrong. But all of a sudden, and then you look at Fury, and again, you look at the man, look at Wilder, and look at his resume, look at his background, and you take this one situation. But then you look at Fury, and look at how the media promotes him, and look at his checkered past. Here, you make an excuse for Fury because he caught COVID. And again, this is the wild, wild west. How do you compare the NBA to boxing? You got the NBA, you got a team full of 30 and 40 people, personnel team.
Sorry, Aaron, but that is your limit, Maestro. You're definitely open to a rebut.
I don't know. Maybe my line cut out when I said that I gave him credit for all of the defenses. I gave him credit for the Ortiz victories. I talked about how much I liked the Dominic Brazil KO. I don't know. Maybe my line cut out when I said all of that stuff. And look, if Deontay Wilder was a white guy from Alabama, he'd be a superstar. I've never denied the fact that black people face adversity in this country, you know. And guess what? My people are here as a subset of black people, black immigrant people from the Caribbean. We face a lot of adversity too, right? I'm not going to say that there's no racism here or that the fact that Wilder isn't a bigger star has nothing to do with race. It absolutely does. What I'm saying, though, and I'm going to say what kind of Charlo said, is that does nothing to do with the loss against Fury. Does it have to do with him not being a bigger star? Yes. Does it have to do with him not being on mainstream TV? Yes, absolutely. But you know what? My favorite fighter all time faced the same shit too. Lennox Lewis. He didn't get any credit over here. I still get into debates with people that don't want to give Lennox Lewis his credit as an elite heavyweight, and still make up excuses as to why Mike Tyson lost to him. So look, we live in a racist country. There's no doubt about it. It's a country founded on the extermination of indigenous peoples and built upon the backs of African slave labor. Like, nobody's denying this stuff. But what I'm not doing is I'm not going to blame a loss in a ring on that. I'm just not going to do it. I'll blame other stuff on it, but I'm not going to blame that. Can I pivot though quick, Ness, before I got to go about this Usyk thing?
Sure.
I got to go right after this. Thanks. So I think what's happened here with the Usyk is people are mixing up skill with, who's got the better chance against Fury, against Joshua. I think that Fury's got a way bigger chance against Joshua just simply because of his size, 6'9", 270-pound plus guy. You could definitely make an argument, though, that Usyk is the more skilled of the two, but he's an undersized fighter, right? I give him a lot of credit for beating Abradis, who I think is one of the most underrated guys in boxing. The cruiserweight division has never been given the kind of shine that other divisions have because it's primarily been based out in Europe. One of my favorite fighters growing up was Guillermo Jones, the Panamanian. Most people have never even heard of this dude. Why? Because he fought principally in the cruiserweight division. So look, Usyk is without a doubt a very talented guy, but he's undersized. You could say that he's more skilled than Fury if you want to go that far. I don't even know if that's true, but he definitely does not have the better chance against Anthony Joshua.
All right, Maestro, let them know where they can find you if you're going to cut out.
Right, well, you can find me face-to-face here in Macomb Park in the South Bronx if you want to get into a cipher with me and get into boxing debates. We do it all the time, especially Saturday morning with my brother, Mr. T, former Golden Gloves champ, out there training the next generation, right? Saturday mornings, Macomb Park. You'll find me there right here in the South Bronx. On YouTube, you can find me at Maestro A Boxing. I go live with my brother here from New York City, Kenny T, every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We take calls, and I'll be back here with my brother Nestor supporting the boxing voice as much as I can. Thank you, Ness.
Thank you, man. I love what you bring. You know, obviously you see you get them hype, man. They coming for you, man. Just make sure you clicking the sub only on your channel. You know about that, right?
The sub only? Nah.
Hit me up off air. We have to have a conversation. It's not. I can't text it to you.
All right, we'll do. All right, and I'll drop the link to my channel too. And Definitely. I'll take care, guys. I'll see everybody later.
Thank you. We're gonna go to some callers here. I know I got some super chats as well. Divine, man. Whoa, it's getting a little heated, huh? You got to be careful what you say about Wilder. That dude is a superhero in America. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that he hasn't that fight didn't sell the 2 million pay-per-views that Bob Arum estimated. And obviously there was a lot of illegal streaming. So, you know, that plays in a part. But yeah, man, he's definitely popular, bro. We got Mac.
No doubt about it, yeah.
Mac and Cheese with a super chat. He says, Tay Jones said Fury tried complaining to the judge about defamation, crying, and got shut down. Defamation is out. I don't know. Well, I don't know anything about that, but all right. I don't know. I didn't really follow. Did they release any court documents, like transcripts of the? No, right? Because that wasn't like a court. It was arbitration, no? I feel like that was like a private thing. You know, kind of like when you go for a deposition. I don't know if anybody have ever been. Moving on, we got George with the super chat, £5. Where you at, George? Here we go. He says, Maestro and the other new co-hosts have been a great addition to the show, Ness. Good idea. Thank you. Yes, this is Divine's first time. We look to have him back. He's got to definitely, Divine, you need to jump in. You know what I mean? Don't be so quiet for too long. We do have a lot of callers, but maybe they come for you. I mean, you know what happened? Maestro ticked everybody off, so he got everybody coming for him, you know? You would have got some UK guys coming for you because you came on as the Wilder savior.
I'm used to that on my channel. Trust me.
Let me get to Fred Robinson. What's going on, champ? Thank you personally for the super chats. Now that you're calling in, what's up, brother? Fred? 520. Going once. Artie in Anaheim, California. What up?
Hey, what's up, big dog? Buenos dias, on board.
What up?
Hey, what Maestro was talking about, you know, no disrespect to homeboy, you know, but man, he would, to me, he's playing too much of that race card. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, I don't agree with it. You just gotta. You lost the way you lost. It is what it is. You can't go back to the past. Now you got to move forward. And now when he fights Fury, now he's gonna beat him in a fashion where it's gonna be unbelievable. And after he beats him in that fashion, all that other stuff's gonna go out the window. But you always gotta stay prepared and stay ready because you know people are dirty these days, man. And I believe Fury maybe was a little dirty, but it is what it is, man. Just like me, going head up in the beatdown, I'm thinking I'm getting a head up, and all of a sudden I'm getting poked in my back. You know what I mean? Next time I'm coming back, homie, best believe I'm going to come back with my strap. I'm poking you back. You know what I mean? But, hey, man, much love to you, Ness. Hey, Ness, you say you're in Florida?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were from New York. My bad.
I am. But I bought my second home down here in January.
Oh, you're a blessed man. That's right.
Yes, man.
This is a shout to my homeboy Deuce. He's always telling me, word of my mother. All right, big dog. Love you.
All right, brother. Yes, sir, man. I'm blessed, man. Thank God. You know, I've been working hard, and, you know, he answered my Floridian prayers. A lot of listeners that have been listening from the beginning No, I wanted to relocate. I always felt like my mom made the wrong decision being Caribbean, coming from the Dominican Republic to like coal-ass New York City and New Jersey. It made no sense. But cutting the line 6. What up, Washington?
Hey, what's going on, Nash? Kind of wanted to get on there and talk to Maestro a little bit, but hey, man,
You should have
I
sent me
just
a
want to
message
say,
on Patreon. You know I would have cut you.
it's all good, no problem. Hey, but I just want to say, what's with all these moist boys calling in protecting Wilder, man? Like, he lost, man. Like, I don't know why the dude just can't say, "Cuz gave me the hand." What more can I say? He was the better man. There's nothing wrong with that, but all this blaming Breland and blaming this person and that person, it's pathetic, man. And like I said yesterday, in no planet, form, or fashion will he ever beat Fury. Period. So, I mean, there's nothing to debate about. That's my call, and that's thanks.
All right. Remember, send me a message. I'll open up Patreon here so that I get it. If you want your boomerang, we going to Boston, Massachusetts.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay Showtime to see you all there, not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see some motherfucker just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate. People.
What up?
Mr. Gibbs.
What up,
Where the fuck
George?
my intro went? Yo, my intro becoming real popular, huh?
It's there, man. It's popular.
We're gonna start the TVB Black Lives Matter section.
Uh-oh.
Every time you come over here, it's a race thing. I mean, Wilder started it, but he was gonna perpetuate in every single caller gotta come here. Baby, we wanna hear about boxing. Every time they said DBA to the race shit, let's start to cut it out a little bit. I'm a Moor. The reason you came to the fucking New York, Mr. Gibbs, is because King Philip, you are descended to the regional Moors, baby. That's what brought you here to the fucking north. In case you was wondering, that's your answer on that. So I don't want to get into that fucking race shit, fucking going all back. No, this dude one time checked me on the Ringside Reporter when I get nothing by love because I use too much the N-word. My dude never seen a nigga with a straight hair in his life, and he's from New York City. Really peculiar. Let's cut that bullshit, baby. Talk to me about some boxing from now on. Everybody support the channel, donate. I'm outie.
Hey, can I speak something on that?
Sure.
Yeah, that I always found that a little bit odd. Ever since I've always been on YouTube, man. I came on here originally to talk about boxing, but it always seems to come up with other things other than boxing.
I mean, you
And
know, it's
lot
a
of times
race-driven sport, though. You know that. It's race-driven. Puerto Rico,
for sure.
Mexico is something that promoters seek out to do. They sign Mexican fighters intentionally to put them versus African-American fighters because it's the most lucrative matchup. And obviously, whenever we get the Great White Hope, you got your diamond in the fucking, you got your unicorn. It's your unicorn. It's the only phrase. Is there another phrase in boxing that was turned into a movie? Because there's a Great White Hope movie, right? With Damon Williams and my man from White Man Can't Jump. I mean, it's just, the sport is race-driven. It's race-driven. It just is. I don't know why people try to ignore it. But, I mean, I am like you. Unfortunately, I cringe. I'm like Georgie. I don't need, well, not like Georgie, because that could be totally misinterpreted. What I mean is, he said a little phrase there where he was like, I just want to talk boxing. Yes, I brought it up in my interview because it's the truth. For that kid, Amasail Jimenez, bro, you're blessed to be Puerto Rican and Mexican and love boxing and be in boxing and be a pro. Bro, you're blessed.
No doubt.
He checked so many fucking boxes. So
Yep.
it's race driven, man. You know, whether I'm using the wrong term and I'm saying race and it's really nationality or ethnicity, I don't know, you know.
But I never really understood it to that extent. I mean, I grew up, my dad was a huge Muhammad Ali fan, and I grew up watching Ali and hearing about Ali. I never really thought about race that much until, I went to the boxing gym when I was younger. I did a bit of amateur, and I grew up in Arizona. So 90% of the guys that I sparred were Mexican, obviously. So I was one of the few white people in there. And of course they had their, they call me gringo and güero and all these different names and shit I grew up with, but it never really bugged me that much. Maybe it was because it was a part of life, but it was on a different level when I came on YouTube, to the point where if I don't go for the white fighter, then I'm not proud to be white, and I'm a self-hating white man because I don't go for the white man, like crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
So I've always been kind of like, what? Like, I'm over here talking about boxing, and you're over here basically picking a fighter based simply off of his color. Like, I'm going to go for this guy because, he's this color and I'm this color. You know what I mean? And I just never really...
It's, to an extent, because, some of the justification is, well, Mexicans support, they don't care who's fighting. They support whoever is just the Mexican fighter. And
like Pacquiao as well.
Then you got the UK fan. The UK fan, they don't care either. If you're from the United Kingdom, you're blessed, man. You're blessed. I mean, this kid we had on the show, if he would have been born in the UK, right? But his parents were descendants from Puerto Rico and Mexico, he would have, he would be the next Joshua. Like, it would have been like, the recipe. But look, man, I would love to be able to swerve it, but we're the voice of the people. That was the motto. I give you your allotted time for your call. We've even created other ways that, yes, they are revenue streams, but they were created from our community itself because they wanted more time to come back for different topics and give a second opinion. So, I try not to censor, I try not to censor. I don't want callers to go off the rafters with a million curses and drop a bunch of F-bombs and N-words, but I do want them to voice their opinion, whether they're celebrating the win that they picked or, they're expressing their frustrations over the sport. Yeah, man, I'm glad to be one of the one of the shows that people choose to get it off their chest. I'm gonna go to Corey in North Carolina. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I just would like to call and clarify that super chat I said.
Corey, can you move around the house a bit or get off that Bluetooth? You're not really coming through properly. I'm going to restart this when I hear you doing better. And in the meantime, I'm going to get to this best dad ever super chat that says, so, and this is for Maestro, who was obviously gone. He rocked the boat and left. So you have proof that Breland did not commit the crime. He don't have to answer to you. Laughing out loud emoji. Sorry that Wilder, what did he say? Disappeared on me. Sorry that Wilder got your panties in a bunch. Okay, now we're going to you, Corey. Are you available?
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I had super chatted the do not resuscitate. Actually, the abbreviations were DNR, but it was to help divine because Maestro said that if you go to the hospital and tell the doctor you want to die, they're not going to just let you die. Well, that was false, because if you have a DNR order in place, which is what you give to the physician, then that means do not resuscitate me. That means let me die. Wow. So I just wanted to clarify that. As far as with the topic, man, it's whatever, man. I want to see Wilder and Joshua anyway, so it's whatever.
Facts.
Appreciate you.
All right. So speaking of the topic, one of our community members, Coyote, paid for a poll. Should AJ be on the pound for pound list? We got 228 votes, and 62% believe he should be on the pound for pound list, and 38% do not. What are your thoughts? I mean, it's a heavyweight. Do you put heavyweights on your pound for pound list?
I have in the past.
Okay.
Not very often.
Which one was on your pound for pound list?
I mean, we're going back. It's been a while since I had a heavyweight.
Okay.
I think at once upon a time,
I'm
probably
gonna say if you were doing videos 5 years ago, Wilder was on your pound for pound list, right? Was how long? Oh no, he's only been champ 5 years with 10 defenses in those 5 years. So,
no, I never had him. I never had him personally on my pound for pound.
So Vlad, 12 defenses.
I've had Vlad on there.
Okay.
I've had Vlad like number 9 before,
All right.
8, 9.
All right.
Yeah.
So does AJ belong on the pound for pound list in your opinion? If he wins over Usyk, if he beats Usyk?
Nah.
You're hard, bro. Why not? I mean, this is an undisputed champion. Would you put Earl Spence on the list if he beat Bud, who's moving up to 147, the former undisputed champ, now just a one belt champion? I mean, if you're gonna put one on the list, you got to put the other, man. You got to. I mean, I guess not. I guess not because he's a heavyweight. That's the thing. Is like
he's a heavyweight. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like
on the list.
Here's the thing: heavyweights, they've got the clout like already. You know what I'm saying? Just being a heavyweight, people are gonna watch heavyweight fights. People are gonna watch knockouts. It's almost a guarantee that you're gonna get a knockout or knockdowns. It's just different. Like a pound for pound is pound for pound. It's like when we talk about dog breeds, what's a pound for pound? Like obviously, an American Pit Bull Terrier is a fucking pound for pound dog. You know what I mean? Like can do everything. And
my
for
English
its size
bulldogs are pound
and
for
strength.
pound. Okay, no one breathes louder than the bulldog. Yo, let me get to some callers. I'm going to Seattle, Washington.
Mr. PBC, baby.
BoxingWords.com. I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believe he can win. Go to my kitchen. Get the sharpest knife. And cut the bullshit out. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great.
Mr. PBC, baby. Yo, shout out to the topic. It's funny, the show's about Anthony Joshua, but, Deontay gets brought up. It's the Deontay Wilder show. Let's go. Shout out to the people who rock with him and the people who invite people to his dinner and crash it and throw shit. That's my call.
Okay, we going to Izzy in Oklahoma.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm ready!
What up, guys? Good morning. Good morning to everybody on the panel. I miss Maestro. I was hoping he'd be on. Kind of with him on a lot of his arguments. I guess that is what it is. But again, we don't need the same. We don't want to share a brain in boxing, so I think it's good to have multiple perspectives. On the title of the show, or the Usyk versus Fury and skills, I couldn't agree more with Maestro and what he had to say right before he left. Okay, Usyk may be more skilled. He showed some definite skill in the cruiserweight division, not seeing as much in the heavyweight division. But who would you rather fight? And I think most people would probably say they'd rather fight Usyk than Fury. On that matter, I got one question, Nez, to you and the panel. Ring size is going to be. I think I'm going to be interested in ring size because it looked like, I know Billy Joe Saunders' ghost is being brought up here, but it looked like that ring in Abu Dhabi or Dubai or UAE, wherever it was, with the second Ruiz fight with AJ seemed really big. I'm thinking this one's not going to be as big. Just my thoughts.
Of course not. He's the A side, man. Thank you for calling in, but he's the A side, so he'll dictate. Obviously, like Billy Joe, you can fight. Question is, will you get what you fought for versus AJ? Billy got what he fought for versus Canelo, so it's possible. Coach Myers, did you jump off and jump back on to use your boomerang? Let me know. If not, I can keep moving and come back to you. Going to Tennessee, home of Amasail Jimenez, the Mexican, Puerto Rican heavyweight, James Payne. James is the one that actually put us on, man, and I'm happy.
James Payne is my name, partner, how about you? Standing on my property and I'm gonna see about you. If I come out on my porch, I see you chilling in your wheel. Boy, I hope you know somebody, better be waiting on the bitch. James Payne, baby, see me pissing on the post. If we're playing basketball, you might see me in the post.
TBV, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Top of the morning to the panel. Top of the morning, gentlemen. Best part of waking up. Y'all know the slogan from the 80s. It's all in my cup. Shout out to Doomy on it. Great interview this morning with El Bazuka. You know what I'm saying? I was very pleased to hear him get a little bit of shine, and the shine is only gonna get brighter for that young man. He has a great future ahead of him, and I'm just so excited to see what boxing's going to bring to him. You know, it's also a great topic. In my personal opinion, Usyk might have more boxing credentials, I would say, but you know, because he held all the belts at one time. But Fury has held all of the belts over his career. So if I was a fighter, I definitely would want to see Usyk before I saw Fury. I mean, a 6'9" heavyweight that moves like a middleweight, and I mean, and the biggest difference between those two is not so much what they do in the ring. Fury sells fights. Usyk, I wouldn't even buy a pair of Vans from Usyk. So, you know what I'm saying? The difference is just right there. I mean, Fury could come in looking like a slob with a
Austin, Dallas, Texas. What up?
Give me 1 second, man. Shoot, man. Good morning, Next. How you doing today, bro?
Can't complain. Rain just stopped.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I just as far as the subject, man. My fault, man. Give me 1 second. Going crazy. Oh, as far as the subject, bro, I think skill-wise, yeah, Usyk is just as good, if not better than Fury. But at the same time, that's why weight divisions are there. It doesn't matter how skilled you are whenever you're the smaller man. And but I think it's one of those things where AJ's just trying to hype him up just so his win looks better. Because you don't want to say somebody's trash and then you beat them like, well, you beat a trash opponent. So he's just trying to hype up his win. I do think he's the best heavyweight out of the big three right now. But I got to get back to work, man. So that's my call. Good show, Ness. Hey, oh, wait. One last thing. My wife said, you're going to have to stop saying I'm from Dallas because we stationed here in Hobbs, New Mexico. So I have to rep Hobbs, New Mexico now.
New Mexico?
Yeah, Hobbs, New Mexico. Hobbs, New Mexico.
Hobbs, like Hobbs
yes,
from the Fast and the Furious. I got you, champ. We're going to a counterpunch, Coyote in the UK. I'm sure you want your call and counterpunch, so I'll go ahead and play your intro.
To this day. Sing along if you know the words. Come on.
Yo, what's going on, peoples? It's been a minute. Can you hear me, Ness?
I hear you. Before I start the bell, so you want the counterpunch or both?
Yo, can I hear someone in the background or what's going on?
Probably it was Blog Talk. The 90-second countdown is up. But talk to me. You want the full call or just the counter? Because I don't know if you want to come.
I want the full thing. So my call and the counter punch.
Go
I
for
just,
it.
Yeah, so it's funny how this show is about AJ and everyone still wants to talk about, who cheated, Wilder cheated. Like at some point we have to like get bored of talking about this and just pray or hope or whatever you have to do that they actually fight in October. Like, who actually knows if these guys are going to end up fighting? I mean, AJ will now he would have fought Usyk and Pulev since Wilder and Fury fought. And I mean, that has to count for something. And in my opinion, AJ is the number one heavyweight. He should definitely be on the pound for pound list, because if everyone's happy to put Usyk on the pound for pound list and AJ knocks him out, then he should be on the pound for pound list. So I'm just tired of this whole Wilder drama. I just want to see them fight or whatever. If they don't, let them just fight. Like, everyone should be tired of the whole drama and talking about it, And let's
Cut it.
We're going to Keem in Florida.
Wait a minute. You say you know boxing?
Yeah. What is it? Maybe I don't know.
Tell me what a pool counter is.
Pool counter? I've never heard that term before. That must be your term. You must have been.
No, fair shake. HBO need to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit.
Yo,
what
up, man? You hear me?
Perfectly. What you eating on, man?
Man, I'm on lunch, bro. Eating some good old Chinese food, but hey, man. So the topic is what? Usyk, AJ, who wins or what?
Hold on. Let me stop this, man. I'm stopping this clock, bruh. You eating Chinese? You training for a fight, man? Hold on. Let me see what I got here. What my message say? My iMessage app says Border Wars is, bruh, 59 days away and you still stuffing your face with Chinese food. Okay.
Hey, man.
Take care, man.
You know what I weighed this morning, man?
What you weigh and what you perform is two different things, man. Is what you put in your body is how it's going to perform. But I hear you. There is steamed vegetables. There's white rice. There's plenty of very, very healthy options at a Chinese fast food restaurant. I'm just teasing you. I'm gonna start this clock.
Well, so the topic is what? AJ and Usyk, right? Who wins or something going on there?
Well, it's obviously the fight's been announced, and then AJ gave us the beautiful debating topic. He says that Usyk is just as good as Tyson Fury.
Absolutely not. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I'm not a big fan of Usyk. I'll be honest with you. Got AJ smashing Usyk, man. I don't think I'm just not impressed with Usyk, man, at the heavyweight level. I'm not big on him, man. He's got good movement and all that, but I think Tyson Fury is a better boxer than him. Usyk to me looks like a guy who's just got a pattern and he goes out there and kind of does that pattern, that same thing. And if you're a good enough boxer, you could figure him out. He doesn't really tend to go out there. Don't look to me like he's figuring you out while the fight's going on, because you see guys like Chisora giving him problems, and Witherspoon was giving him issues. Like, I don't know, he's not.
Cut it.
Mad Bet, Kansas City, talk to me.
Good morning.
Buenos dias.
One on the topic, Usyk is not. I'm going to jump right into it. Usyk is not good as Tyson Fury at the heavyweight level, like the last caller said. AJ just trying to hype him up so when he beat his ass, they can say, oh, he beat somebody worthwhile. It's not worth it. As far as my man, people get brave online because you don't have to meet face to face. So all the racists come out. We know this. They find it hard when they're behind the keyboard. So yeah, their thoughts come out. But so you don't have to see them face to face. And to the guy who was on earlier, Maestro, he's right. Getting your ass beat has nothing to do with racism. In the streets, maybe somebody might be racist and beat you for because they're racist, but in the boxing ring, hey, getting your ass beat don't have to do anything to do with racism. And you get knocked out, your race can't save you. All right, that's my call.
All right, Mad Bet, Siang in Kansas. Thanks for calling in. We going to some super chats. Let me get to. We last left off on the best dad ever. We got Izzy. I'm sorry this is late. He wanted Maestro to know that this $5 was dedicated to him for having to deal with these knuckleheads. Hashtag coffee on me. Keep it up. We got Coyote. We got to with the counter punch. Best dad ever back with another one. Oops. Hold on. Best. Which one is this? Let me ring the alarm. This is number 3. Thank you for the continued support. And he says he mad because he ain't get the Wilder interview. Laughing out loud. Why is that everyone's response? When you got something to, when you question Wilder, they're like, oh, you just mad because he ain't let you get an interview. It's like, come on, man.
Damn.
That's a weird response. Like, but it's a good defense move as an attorney. I tell you that right there.
That's tough.
Yeah. We got. Oh wow, they coming for Maestro now that he's gone. The Wyclef don't know shit about boxing. I guess he's calling him Wyclef. I don't know. Is it the Afro? Maybe. What do we got? Esteban. Esteban, what's up, man? Is you back? I'm trying to make you a superstar, man. You missing out on opportunities of perfectly matched fights. But thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He says, Jesus means Joshua in Hebrew. AJ has already come back from the dead, and now he hurts for the heads of the king. I guess he meant hunts for the heads of the king. But that was pretty cool. Good super chat there. But hit me up, man. Is you back or what, bro? This is the biggest border wars yet, man. We got Coach Rivera with another one. And he says, fan is short for fanatic. Become a fan of boxing, not a fan of fighters. If they're wrong, oh well. If they're right, oh well. I don't give a F. Talk about boxing, skill, power, speed, etc. Yo, and you know the funny thing is, Coach? One day he's going to be available. This dude looks like he punches hard. Pretty big, man. I'm glad I'm a retired heavyweight, let me tell you. He be beating the hell out that bag. So I would love to see him in Border Wars, man. One day, I know you're busy, got a newborn and all that. Yeah, Kevin, you in the show, but you got to wait the line. You got to wait the line, so keep yourself muted over there, you know what I mean? I'll get to you. We got King Born in Brooklyn. What's up?
When you see old dirty bastard fall in a position like that, then you know that I'm getting ready to bust your...
Yo, you hear me? Y'all hear me, right?
I hear you.
Yo, listen, man. Peace to the gods and herbs. Peace and power to the chat. Peace and power to TBV, man. Let's get to this Usyk. Listen, man. Yo, AJ is like, it's like David and Goliath. You heard? AJ, in his mind, he lamping with King Tut hats. Like, he's the king, right? But here's the thing with Uzi. Now, what is AJ going to do with Uzi? Now, the thing with for Uzi is it's going to bust a lot of shots, and it's going to keep throwing punches at you, right? Can AJ, can he make the Usyk jam? Can he disassemble him? Because I'm going to tell y'all something, man. He's a little guy, but he's going to comfort AJ head. He's going to dance and prance on him, man. Y'all know the Uzi, that's like a heavyweight Lomachenko, because they both train together. Know what I mean? And I don't think AJ ready for that, because he fought Pulev that was older than my mom's. You heard? So let's get it on, y'all. I think this going to be a big fight. And let me tell y'all something about racism, man. Listen, you got in the 5% nation, right? You got
cut it.
Lewis. I mean, I guess, is this Coach Rivera? You just listening, or is this a new caller, Luis Rivera?
No, that's me, Coach Rivera.
What up, Coach?
Nah, I'm just listening.
All right, champ. We gonna spar one day though. I'm gonna get rid of that fear. You a big boy. We gonna get it in though. Fuck that. Rue in the 504. You gotta love tap me. You gotta treat me like Canelo treats Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Until I feel the power, cause you look like you got some power. Rue, what up?
Happening, man. Good morning. What's up? Yeah, definitely looking forward to this one. I mean,
Hold on. Let me I had to mute coach there. Go ahead. Start over.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this AJ Usyk one. Being the extreme minority in the community, I'm picking Usyk to shock the world and pull off a big upset against AJ. That's my pick going for this one. I at least do have some interest in this one. As far as the Wilder Fury situation, it's getting way past old. I mean, at least with AJ Usyk, it's just a fight. It's just a championship fight. It's not the outside influences. It's not the crazy excuses. It's not the nonsense about who has COVID or who might not have COVID. It's just a fight. And at the end of the day, as a fight fan, I gotta just applaud both of those guys just for giving us an event that's free from all of the crap that everyone seems to like to argue about in this sport. So that's my call. And if Andy Ruiz and White does happen, I just listened to that show today, that will prove right what I've been saying since Andy lost to AJ. But we'll see though. But good work, man.
All right, man. Thank you for calling in. JT, talk to me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's I was telling you not to put the intro on a counter punch. I just wanted the counter punch earlier. So I don't know what that was a misunderstanding.
Don't worry about it, man. Just go ahead. Let me start this over. Go ahead.
I got Uzi and Joshua. You know, Anthony the third guy that was, I think, bigger than him, but faster than him as well, very explosive. So Usyk is a real good boxer. I see comparison with him and Tyson, but you just can't compare the two because they're two different size type of men and stuff like that. But I think Usyk will beat Anthony Joshua because Joshua just a guy that can box, but he's not no pure boxer. He's slow, robotic, and I don't think he's gonna be able to keep up with Usyk if Usyk come with the right game plan, step on angles, pick his shots well, and be fast and be explosive. So I got Usyk in that fight. So I guess I'm the third caller that called in and said that they're taking in Usyk. But I want to touch a topic. I heard the other guy trying to say George and Porgy, whatever George called in about is always race comes up. Race is in boxing because at the end of the day,
they was talking about Maestro, not Georgie.
No, who that intro? No, all right, but listen to what I'm saying though, Ness. All I'm trying to tell you is we cannot deny that race plays a big factor in boxing because the simple fact is when a lot of these guys call in, they don't come out and say that they're racist. They don't come out and say.
I agree. I said the same thing. It definitely is in here. Let me get to. Looks like Chicago. Who's in the building? What the hell? I lost this number. All right. Rick in San Antonio with a Chicago number. What up?
Hey, what's up, Nez? What's up, guys?
What up?
What's up, Divine? Hey,
what's good?
I think a lot of people are sleeping on Usyk. I think the guy has the ability to move around stamina-wise for 12 rounds, box, pepper. With that being said, I mean, I would favor Joshua just based on size alone. He showed, he can box too, and as long as he's got that stamina, he can pull it off as well. Is there a knockout? Possibly, but I can see Usyk having the ability to take it 12 rounds. So let's not sleep on Usyk. In terms of Wilder, I mean, the guy got his ass beat. He lost. He has a chance to redeem himself in October. and that's my call.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Kevin in Chicago. What up?
What's up? You hear me?
We hear you.
Okay, so you know what's funny is they're trying to shove that Fury versus Joshua fight down our throats. Oh, this is the best fight in boxing, this and that. Meanwhile, with Fury and Usyk there all along, the real superior boxers, the talent-wise, we're talking pure talent. Those guys are head and shoulders above them. It's just like that. Evander Holyfield with Mike Tyson. Everyone thought Mike Tyson was the biggest, baddest man on the planet. Meanwhile, Evander Holyfield was there the whole time. So I'm looking forward to this unification bout after Usyk and Fury goes in and takes care of business. That will be the true baddest man on the planet fight.
So you're picking, I just want to be clear, you're saying Usyk will beat AJ is what you're saying?
No doubt about it, man.
Right.
AJ already got beat up by Lil Ruiz. Come on.
No, I hear you. I just wanted to be clear. I knew what you were saying, but I want the audience to be clear. Kevin in Chicago, thank you for calling in. We got Boxing with a super chat, $2. He says, like the controversy Maestro creates. Yeah, I guess some people do. Line 6, you want your boomerang?
Yeah, I take it. Hey, Ness, check this out. Yesterday, I sent the super chat to Bill. It never got read. I just wanted to sound the alarm out for Boots. You know what I'm saying? Because Boots is the greatest. But on the topic, as far as racism go, I'm a black man. If you look on my Instagram, I'm clearly black, and I get tired of everybody always trying to use racism as a pass. Racism does not got nothing to do with Wilder getting hands put on him. And just because, and I don't think Fury is racist at all. I've seen in past he shows support to black folks. He comes off as a brother the way he talks shit and stuff. So, I mean, let's just stop making excuses for Wilder and these fighters. That's my call, Ness. Thank you. It's time to alarm for Boots.
Was the super chat, Bill, you forgot to mention Boots one of the most skilled?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't get to that. You're right. We got Coach Myers boomerang.
Hey, you give my boomerang to JT?
JT, TikTok.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Now, I'm glad I just came back on. I mean, see the thing about race that, like I said, I feel like everybody got a hidden agenda and stuff like that. Race is a big fact, and I agree with Tyson Fury. Racist he gets racist fans, racist writers, all that stuff like that. Deontay Wilder cannot do what Tyson Fury is doing around right now. He'll get crucified for doing it and stuff like that. So race plays a big factor in boxing. So I'm tired of people sitting there saying, I don't understand how we just can't talk about boxing without including race in it. Race is a big factor. Like you said, Latinos, they support their fighters and stuff like that. UK, they support their fighters. Don't support American fighters. They'll root for another fighter that's not even part of American or something like that. They're just, because he a black man.
Cut it. All right, I got Big Nick, UK. Talk to us.
Journey Joshua. Listen, what's going on, bro? Yeah, man, listen, I think this is going to be the first time I disagree with Ruchenko, innit? But listen, I'm going with AJ. Of course, I'm always going to ride with my boy, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think. I think it's going to go 12, and don't be surprised if, I don't know. Listen, I just think it's going 12, and I don't think it's going to be particularly easy for AJ. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. And to all the other people that are calling in to say about race in boxing, yeah, there's probably race does play a part in boxing, especially for everybody like fans and maybe media and stuff like that, everybody outside of boxing. But guess what? when you get in the ring, it don't mean a motherfucking thing. So listen, October 9th, this is Wilder's opportunity to give credence to the claims that he made and knock Fury out. Or if he loses, it's done and we move on. But that's my call.
That's fair.
Right, all right. Thank you for calling in. Divine, I got a few more callers, but I mean, you want to jump back in on a topic after you heard a few of these calls? Anybody, I don't know, make you want a rebuttal or maybe shares a like thought in yours? And before I do that, or you do that, or say that, I'm hitting the thumbs up. I made it 193 thumbs up. I need you to go ahead and do that if you haven't already done so. Remember, it's going to help with the visibility of the show. It's going to help us grow and put this show in the eyes of other boxing fans that may not have found the show just yet. Also, if you want to come back in and call into the show, and you've already been on, obviously you can do a $5 super chat or cash app to NestGTO to get another call. But yeah, man, Divine, tell me anything, anybody trigger anything in you, man? You're there so quiet.
Yeah, I'm just letting you run your show, bro. I'm along with the ride.
I want to hear you interact. every now and then. It's like double dutch. I don't know, if that's an inner city thing, but double dutch, you're like, when do I jump in? Boom, you jump in. You got it's tough because everyone's talking, and obviously, the only time I don't want a panelist to interrupt is during the caller's time because obviously they're waiting in line all that time. We get the time to talk as much as we want because believe me, I stay here sometimes till 2 o'clock is probably the longest one show has gone from 9 a.m. But, yesterday I did 3 shows. So if you haven't already subscribed, you need to hit that notification bell because you never know how many live shows I do in a day. Today's 1. Yesterday was 3. Definitely today we got a 7 p.m. Border Wars show. Lot to talk about. Big announcements. All right, my own bell telling me to shut up. But it's back to you.
Yeah. No, first off, I just want to say that I appreciate the mixture of opinions and thoughts on both the fighters. I think it's fair to give Usyk some respect. Being a gold medalist and dominating the cruiserweight division. And I know there's a lot of talk of, does he earn this title shot with Joshua and whatnot? I feel like he does. I mean, you have to take into consideration that, obviously Wilder and Fury's tied up. And you got Ruiz there, maybe White, but I don't have a problem with the fight being made. But I haven't really heard anybody say anything in regards to Joshua's experience. It doesn't really matter if you're going for a Usyk or not, but nobody's really, if you are going for Joshua, I guess to play as devil's advocate here, if you are going for Joshua and you do run into somebody who says, I think Usyk's got this. I think when you lean on Joshua's resume and you take that seriously, I think that speaks volumes. He's been in there with some high caliber fighters. And and that speaks volumes.
Just to interject there, man, people try to diminish it. I've had this debate and people think I'm playing devil's advocate, and it's like, bro, he's got the best resume in the heavyweight division. Does Fury hold the bigger wins? Yes, because he beat Vlad before AJ and he beat Wilder. It's like those are the bigger wins in this era, but the more consistent top 10 beating heavyweight is AJ. It's
not only just winning, but how he won. Dylan White, TKO, Eric Molina, TKO.
I don't know that I love the Takam or the Ruiz too, and maybe even the Joseph Parker. I don't know if I'm remembering Parker versus White or Parker versus him. I'm not sure that I love those performances. That's almost a handful. I definitely was not expecting him to regain his world titles in that fashion. Look, he did what he had to do. A win is a win is a win. That's his own catchphrase now. Cool. But I thought, I'm gonna get what I got in the first fight, except AJ would probably, in his mind, be the victor, but he did it in a different fashion. The Takam fight, it was like some sort of rush stoppage is what I remember. Like Takam didn't deserve to be stopped. So shout out to Takam. Let's see what the hell he does now. I know he didn't look good versus someone.
But I also think people lean a little bit too much on the first loss against Ruiz. I think they're like, oh man, he got beat up by Ruiz and whatnot.
Well, even before the loss, though, his resume spoke volumes. But I get
Yes,
what
I
you're
agree.
saying. Definitely people have tried to assume that he's not the same fighter they thought he was before the loss. You know, because you got to think about Andy Ruiz, man. I mean, you know, shout out to the Boxing Habit. Let me just pull this up and screen share. This guy, you know, he doesn't have a lot of subs. He says he was deleted at 1.2. I don't know. I've been following him forever, so I don't know if it's a new account, old account. I don't know if he gets pulled down because he is controversial, but he has this little stat here. Did he delete it already? Oh, here it goes. And he's obviously, again, he's controversial. So as you can see, you may need 14 seconds to follow along on YouTube, but I'll still read it out loud for you. And it's an image of Tyson Fury, and then the caption says, the fighter Deontay Wilder lost to, undefeated, a current lineal world champion, a former unified world champion, a 67 knockout percentage, a big 6'9" fighter, had a full training camp, established, known fighter, been in multiple big fights, and a favorite to win. The fighter that Anthony Joshua quit against. So obviously he has a little bias because he used the word quit instead of lost. Now, his graphic says a picture of Andy Ruiz next to these words. This says a previously defeated fighter. Now, you know, just to give clarity to that, Andy did lose to Joseph Parker before he went on to beat Anthony Joshua. His next phrase is, had never been a world champion at the time, which obviously is true because when he fought Joseph, it was for a world title for the WBO and he did not get the win, so he wasn't a world champion. The next one is, had never been a top 10 fighter. Now, I don't know, because if you get a vacant title shot versus Joseph, you have to be within the top 5 to be considered, no? So that one is arguable. I mean, or what do you think? Do you believe Andy was ever a top 10? I mean, now he's obviously top 5 in the WBC, maybe 4, really. What about you? Do you know? Can you?
Was he top 10 before the AJ fight? Is that?
I mean, I don't think before the AJ fight or before the Joseph fight. Like, was he ever top 10?
Oh, the Joseph fight.
Ever. Has he ever been top 10? You know, other than after beating AJ.
Right. I don't think so.
So his next one is 62% knockout percentage, which isn't bad. It's over 50%. It means you can punch. But the next one is a short 6'2", which is true. I mean, 6'2" is short for this day and age heavyweights. You know, the next one is fought on short notice, which is also true. He DM'd, Eddie Hearn and asked for the fight. He got about 5 weeks. You know, he was coming off of already knocking out, I think, Dermianchenko on Fox. And then he says, was an unknown fighter. And that for me is difficult because I am such a boxing fan. I always knew Andy. So I don't know. How can you would the fight fans, or rather the casual boxing fans, do you think before the AJ win they didn't know Andy Ruiz?
I think it's possible, yeah.
All right.
I think it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I knew him probably around the fight. He fought a guy named, I don't know if you know him, Ray Austin.
Okay, yeah, Ray Austin. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he fought Ray Austin, and I think it was like 26 or 27-0 at that point.
Okay.
And he caught my attention. I'm like, this little Mexican fighter can fight. And then I started looking him up a little bit. But yeah, I can see how casuals didn't know who he was until at least Joseph Parker, like at least around that time frame.
Okay. Had never been in a big fight before, beating AJ. Do you agree with that, or did you consider that fight with Andy Ruiz and Joseph Parker. I actually watched that live, and then I went back and watched that as a film study with the audience. But I want to know, do you think that was a big fight?
Which one? Sorry.
Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, I think it's a big fight.
Okay, so I guess you don't agree with that. That's cool. And I guess the last one was that he was a gigantic underdog. I mean, there's no denying that he was like fucking 12-1, 16-1
Yeah.
on certain websites. So, shout out to Boxing
Just to
Habit,
drill
though.
in that point about the Joseph Parker fight, there was for a vacant WBO title, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned that.
So definitely a big fight.
Yeah. Not every world title is again. Tank versus Barrios, big fight. Fucking I don't know. Barrios versus whoever Barrios versus who he won his title. Who? Exactly. That's not and that's what I mean. Not every, but I guess you're right. If we can remember, you beat Joseph Parker. It's a big fight, right? You can't deny that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I said I didn't want to answer, because I'm such a hardcore. It's like, to me, it's obvious big fight. Joseph Parker was undefeated. Andy was undefeated. Parker was like the first fucking heavyweight to be sponsored by Burger King. Like, he was big, in my opinion. And look, he went on to be a world champion and have decent fights with people, and he's still out here faking COVID. Did you see that? What'd you think of that? I'd like to get your thoughts on that. He said he had COVID. Then he shows up at the UFC fights, forgets he had COVID, and takes down all the footage that he showed that he was at the UFC fight. And then they come out and say, hey, he really didn't have COVID when we said he had COVID.
Just in general, I think everyone pretty much shares the same sentiment. I'm just exhausted with the whole COVID situation in general.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to ruffle my feathers when it comes to that. But
in and out of boxing, right? Because I
for sure.
want
in
COVID
life.
to be over for myself. Like, just I'm already tired of masks and regulations. It's just bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes you think the grass is greener on the other side. I mean, I'm overseas at the moment, and it's way worse here than it is in the States. So, believe me, it could be worse. So, thank your lucky stars. But yeah, just in general, for me, I'm such an advocate of health and fitness. It's what I do for a living. I'm constantly, advertising and teaching people to better their lives through health. And I just feel like that should be the message more so than you got to get vaccinated. You got to get vaccinated. You got to get vaccinated. It's like, well, why don't you just live healthy? For me, I think the message is all twisted. And so we get these fighters getting COVID, and they got to take off 2, 3, 4 months. And I don't know, man. It just rubs me the wrong way in general.
Yeah, because then they get a loss, and that's the excuse. Oh, he had COVID. You know what I mean? Like for Herring, we gave him the excuse in the Orlando Cruz fight. Oh, you look bad. You had COVID. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't want you going into a big fight with COVID, man. That's not what I want to hear from Fury, because now you lose to Wilder, right? And all the Fury fans, all the people that thought he didn't even deserve this fight, they're going to say, oh, he only beat him because he's coming off of COVID. But let me go back to these callers. We got Adrian in Wisconsin. What up?
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, in an echo. Where are you at? In the toilet?
Nah, man. You know I'm at work. I'm doing
You in the gym right now, man. You
I'm already at the gym. Hold on. Let me switch up just real quick. So.
Yeah, please do, bro. I cannot even hear you. Like,
is that better? Is that better?
Way better.
All right. Yeah, man. Usyk, AJ. I mean, I think Usyk has skill. I just don't think he has the size to deal with any of the bigger heavyweights. I think that's a factor. You looking at 6'9", 6'7". I mean, maybe if it was back in the day and he was fighting dudes Tyson size, would be one thing. I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll go all 12, but I just think he lacks the size to be able to really put these guys out and establish himself in the heavyweight division. But, you've talked about that too. Just I just don't see. He probably should have just stayed at cruiserweight and reigned. I think he's going to find a tough time as he gets to the bigger guys. What else were you guys talking about? I kind of came on the show late.
Well, AJ is saying that Usyk and Fury are just like that. Usyk is just as good as Fury. So
okay, so what is he talking about? Foot movement, because he's got good foot movement and head movement. Okay, sure. But at what? 6'1"? What's Usyk? 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah.
Okay, so
right.
at 6'1", 6'2", but then you're talking about a dude like Fury who's 6'9", and what's he weighing these days? 270. So you tell me that these two dudes, he's better or move the same, you got to go with the guy who's bigger and moving the same. That's the better dude right there, because it's more impressive to be 6'9" and 270 and be able to do that than be 6'1" and what's Usyk? 220? 230 at the most? So, that's how I look at it. I'm not denying Usyk's skills. I'm just saying, you're looking at size, speed, if you're 6'1".
All right,
Size
Adrian,
matters.
thanks for calling in. Let me get to the super chats real quick. Man, that sucks right now. At mybookie.ag, they don't even have a line for Fury Usyk when that fight's been rumored for so long. That's a bit of a letdown right there. Even though if you're gonna make a bet, I still need you to use BetTBV over there. Go ahead and use the code BetTBV. If you need a direct link, so you're making sure that TBV is getting a little kickback while not costing you absolutely nothing, let me send you that little link directly. Hit me up on Instagram at NSGTO or at The Boxing Voice. But again, it is unfortunate that I don't see an Usyk line. That's whack, But Wilder Fury, which is the hot button topic, Fury's a -300. How do you feel about that, Divine? Is it Divine Sense or just Divine? Which one do you go with?
Most of my subscribers have known me always call me Divine, yeah, but the actual name is Divine Sense, yeah.
So my question is, are you in agreement with the line? Obviously, Fury is a -300, which means he's the favorite to win, which means I got to put $300 on mybookie.ag using my code BetTBV, but I only get 100 back for spending 300 on Fury. That's how sure they are he's going to win. While Wilder, on the other hand, for you're a Wilder fan, I'm a Wilder fan. We put $100 on Wilder and we get 100 back plus 240. So obviously the other way around, you get the 300 back plus your 100 winnings, but you got to spend 3 to make 1, where this one, you only got to spend 1 to make 340, because you'll get that 100 you spent plus the 240 profit. How sure are you that Wilder's getting this win?
Wait, so for the record, are you going for Wilder or Fury in the third fight?
Ooh, it's too soon. Too soon now. They pushed us back. They pushed us back. Listen, for this one, for July 24th, I had Wilder. People didn't,
Okay.
I even hit the fucking road. I was asking professionals, what did they think of Wilder's footage with Malik Scott? I liked it. I liked the activity. I seen he was moving his head. He was going to try, which I didn't think was the right game plan. I think it felt like he was going to try to outbox Fury in the sense that he didn't want to be in the clinch again. And that's why he's doubling and tripling to the body. He's moving his head. And you see Malik Scott moving a lot. He's moving him, move.
Yeah.
He don't want Fury.
Guaranteed.
They don't want Fury to clinch and lean. Don't wear him out. They don't want that.
Yeah.
They don't want you to wrestle with the 300-pound bear. Why wrestle? Fuck him up. Jab, straight right, move, hit the body, boom. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks. So I was going for that fight for July, for this Saturday. I had Wilder winning, and I'll tell you why. Because look at Fury. He's in Miami with his kids. He's in Miami with his wife. Oh, Bob gave me the private jet. I'm flying to the fight. I'm showing off.
Good.
I got Versace on. I got no shirt on. I got the chain on. I'm singing. Oh, I'm bragging that I'm in a 6,000 square foot Vegas suite. You're damn right you got COVID. You're damn right you got COVID. Look at what you're doing. You're going from Vegas to Miami, Miami to Vegas. You're partying. You're taking pictures.
Irresponsible.
I mean, I can see that he got COVID. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy because, I mean, he's was traveling. But one dude was working. Whether or not you want to believe that Fury was also working and he just didn't put it on social media, okay. But he didn't look healthy in a physical standpoint. He had that little stomach looking crazy.
But so my question, a lot of times I get it from my subscribers as well, and I like to play devil's advocate quite a lot on my channel, is does the time extension to October 9th help or hurt Wilder? I mean, because for Fury, I think Fury more or less it's more about staying in shape.
No, Fury needed it. He needed it. Whether we believe he needed to, whether we see the pictures and thought he was overweight, or we see the pictures in the videos and thought he was partying, or he really got COVID, he needs the time. I agree with you. For all of the above. Now, Wilder, it might hurt him because he was ready. He was peaking. So it's like Ken Porter, right?
True.
Ken Porter put Sean Porter in with Leonardo Tyner live from the Porter gym. They streamed it and everything because whoever Porter was supposed to, I think he was supposed to fight Thurman. Thurman got into the car accident. So he had to bust that nut. You can't have a fighter in camp forever. You can't have a fighter in camp forever. I mean, you're a trainer. You tell me, do you want your fucking fighter training for a fight for 12 months?
Nah, not traditionally, no. But again, they do get a heads up, right? So you reach your peak in mid-July, let's say. Oh, we'll say second week in July. You're ready for the fight. You've been training for July 24th. We're like, nah, you got to wait. Obviously, you got to pull your training back a little bit. You got to train smarter, no longer harder. You can ramp it back up towards the, more like the middle of September and get it back. But at the same time, you got to stay active, obviously. It's a tough call. And I can see where you're coming from, and I can see where you're like, well, July 24th, I had it this way, but now because it's October 9th,
Yeah, because
but for me,
we don't know what's going to happen. Is Wilder going to, again, who gets depressed because the fight got extended or pushed back? Who really ramps it up? Who gets more motivated by this? I don't know anymore. Now I got to see that. I need to see how does Fury look coming off of COVID? Oh hell yeah, I got Wilder. This dude look. He looks weak. He looks he's thinner than normal. I thought he wanted to be 300. Now he's weighing in at 247. I don't know. So many elements, man. I need the weigh-in. Let me tell you. The day of the weigh-in, bro. People only way I won't go down as a liar.
I've already said, I mean, I've already made my prediction videos. Obviously, that was for the 24th. So I already told my subscribers I'll have to make another one as well because I want to see the training camps going into September. I want to see Wilder's body. I want to see what he looks like. Is he hydrated? Is he dehydrated? Is he still moving as well as he was in July? Does he still seem motivated? Does he still have that fire burning?
Exactly. All those things coming apart.
All those aspects for sure. And so for me, when I look at fighters in training camp, some people just look at the mitt work. Some people look at the heavy bag. But because in my profession, I know how to critique the body and what it looks like. And so I'll be looking for those key elements. And then I'll come on here and I'll make a new prediction. But if I were to pull the rabbit out of the hat right now, I would probably still go for Wilder. I just feel like I think a lot of people discredit his athletic ability. And when you're an athlete, and a lot of people laugh at me about this, but for me it's just I'm just around athletes all the time. But when you have natural athletic ability, you have the ability to adapt and change things quicker than your average person and even average fighter. You have certain fighters who are brilliant fighters who can win world titles, but if you're so one-dimensional and don't have the athletic ability, you're going to match up with somebody that you just have no chance to beat because athletics do play a major role in boxing, in my opinion. So I feel like he has that ability. He just hasn't found the right chemistry to figure out how to fine tune it. And one thing, last little note here is, one thing a lot of people don't talk about is when you look at the first and second fight, especially the first fight, because obviously the second fight was a disaster for Wilder. But he never goes to the body, ever. He's always waiting. He throws a jab out there every once in a while for a range finder, but he's trying to line up that right hand constantly, just waiting for his chance. And the thing about Wilder is he doesn't care if he loses 5 rounds in a row. He believes in his power so much that he's like, all I got to do is wait for that opportunity. And we saw that happen in the 12th round. He lined it up, right?
But that's probably why he went into that mindset in the third fight, because remember,
in the second fight.
When was it that the whole you got to be perfect for 12 rounds, I only need 1 second. When did that line start? First fight or second fight? Build up. Like,
I think it was the first fight. But he never changed that thought process.
But that was the problem, though. That was the problem. Waiting for the bomb rather than
Fury.
working. See, this is why I felt like July 27th he would have won, because they was going out there with a mentality to chop the tree down. We're gonna outwork him this time. We're not gonna wait for the big right hand. We're gonna set up the big right hand. And
go to the body, and everybody's like, don't
but remember, brother, if you go to the body, Fury could just lay on you. He's big as fuck. He could just blanket your ass, man. Go to the body, and I swing my arm around you, and I clinch you.
You got to go to the body. You got to go to the body systematically and with boxing intent. You can't just like close the range and try to work in the inside. You know what I mean? You lead with your jab. You let your jab be the leader, and you set up jabs to the midsection, right hands to the midsection. You pivot around, throw a left hook to the body.
Divine. You're gonna act like he wasn't. He came out. Second fight, he came out shooting the jab to the body. That was Wilder's game plan. Go back, pull it up. You know you can pull it up right now on YouTube. He was shooting. He was going to the body. I'm telling you. Listen, getting low is putting you in danger of being clinched and into that wrestling. But let me get this counterpunch. We got Seattle, Washington's own Mr. PBC wants in on the action. What up? PBC?
Yo, what it do? I got Wilder just like the other caller. Shout out to supporting Wilder. Keeping it strong. Some people can't keep it strong, man. I hope he does go to the body too and bring back that pawn jab. And just be more relaxed. Don't come in there like Charlo, all pissed. Just come relaxed. Don't have the cameras on you, but have it on Tyson Fury. But it doesn't matter. He can cheat either way if you have a camera on him or not. He can cover it up and get away with it. Don't drink that water. But that's just how the game goes, man. You can't stop a cheater. You just got to know how to beat a cheater.
Okay. We got Kellen. What up, Kellen? Oh, actually, that's Austin, right? Fuck, right? I just remembered. Yeah. All right, Austin, we went to you. So I got some super chats. Mac and Cheese says the race plays in from the cover-up of Fury's behavior and lack of mentioning Tyson's BS. Mac and Cheese, Las Vegas. Shout out to Mac and Cheese. He found us an event, a venue he found us a venue in Las Vegas for a possible appreciation night. But Vegas is like the capital of COVID. If you leave it to Top Rank. Line 6 says, fellas, put some respect on Boots' name. Really? Yo, Boots needs a fight that's like gonna have us talking, man. Like, everybody needs fights, right? Like, it's either a fight or a show. Like, cause like for Tank, he don't always fight the biggest name, but he putting on shows, And
That's
how do you, since we have to, since he's making us compare Boots' last performance versus Lipinets or Tank's versus Barrios? Which one do you prefer? What looked better on television to you?
I gotta go with Tank and Barrios.
All right, me too. Enough said. We can't even get into a debate, man. This is no. It's just the truth though. Like the kid is a fucking star, bro. I was there and I was like, whoa, this shit is for real. But I got Infinite Dells. He says AJ ran a marathon around Ruiz too, and learned to fight like Pretty Boy Floyd real quick. Laugh out loud. Then he's back with another one that says COVID knocking out weight class. Oh, excuse me, knocking out all weight class. Hashtag undisputed. Yeah, COVID is fucking up all the big fights. But that looks like everybody. I think I got to everybody. So if you want to give out any final thoughts and or YouTube channel, social media, Instagram, all that greatness where they can follow you and follow you, give out your schedule as well. And thank you for coming on the show, champ.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me. Finally got a hold of you. I wasn't sure the best channel to reach out to you, but we finally made it happen.
Yeah, it wasn't Facebook, right? When did you send that? Because, you got lucky. It's better Instagram, honestly. That's why I tell people Instagram.
Yeah. I sent it about 3 or 4 days ago, but
oh, you see, I would have answered right away.
Actually, how it happened, just real quick, Ness, is I do my thing on my channel, and I basically just ask my subscribers, yo, so whose show should I go on? Because a lot of people are like, yo, Divine, we like your boxing analytics and whatnot, so you should go to this channel. So they shouted you out, and I was like, I know the boxing voice, man. Yeah. I've been around a long time.
Let's do it.
So I'm like, I'll hit him up. But yeah, man, I always appreciate you and your content, what you guys do. I appreciated the little butting heads moment with Maestro. I know him too, man. I know his channel. And yeah, so if you guys want to come check out my content, man, it's just pretty simple. It's just Divine Sense Reborn is my channel's name. Pop over, take a listen. I do a lot of stuff. I talk about a lot of old fights too, man. I'm an old head. So I just dropped a video not too long ago talking about, is Rocky Marciano a true all-time great in the heavyweight division? Shit like that. So I talk about a lot of that stuff, man, if you guys like that. And, of course, all of the modern day fighters and events as well. So come on by.
Yes, sir, man. Make sure to tell your audience that you were on, man, so they could check out this episode and hear you interacting with Maestro and the entire audience. And also, if you are out there and you're a content creator and you want to collaborate, hit me up on Instagram at NestGTO. I'm looking to get people on the panel and keep it fresh and lively, keep the conversations going. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to that 130,000, but we'll take the next goal of 127,600. And subscribe, click that notification bell because I did 3 lives yesterday. This is the first today. We're definitely back at 7 p.m. with Border Wars. Watertown, Wisconsin, September 18th is going down. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., we have a Border Wars show. Topics and suggestions for topics are on patreon.com/theboxingvoice. NestGTO, Instagram and Twitter. Catch me on the next one. Peace.